Chapter 76. When Lin Shouru entered the courtyard, she saw a small figure running quickly in the courtyard. Behind him, there were two figures chasing him, reminding him as they chased. "Son, please be careful." Looking at this scene, Lin Shouru sighed helplessly, and then spoke. "Move." After hearing Lin Shouru's voice, the smile on Lin Dong's face disappeared and drooped. He looked at Lin Shouru and spoke with a fearful tone. "Grandmother." Soon, Lin Shouru came in front of Lin Dong, squatted down, put her hand on Lin Dong's shoulder and spoke softly. "Donger, you are already an adult. You need to know what you can do and what you can't do. The future of the entire Rao Shui Holy Land is on your shoulders, so you must remember that you have to work harder than others. Do you understand?" "I know, Grandma." Lin Dong lowered his head and said in a fearful tone. Seeing this, Lin Shouru felt helpless, but there was nothing she could do. After all, she was the Holy Lord of Rao Shui Holy Land, and everything had to be considered for the future of Rao Shui Holy Land. After meeting Lin Dong, Lin Shouru looked at the two Saint King warriors beside her who she had arranged to take care of Lin Dong and give him a medicinal bath, and spoke slowly. "You two must ensure the safety of the Holy Sun. If anything happens to the Holy Sun, I will hold you responsible." "Yes, Holy Lord." After hearing Lin Shouru's words, the two Saint Kings nodded quickly and agreed. Lin Shouru herself had a lot of things to do, so after meeting Lin Dong, she left. After seeing Lin Shouru leave, Lin Dong visibly relaxed. He looked at the two figures beside him and spoke in a soft voice. "Sister Lin Mu, Sister Chen Yu, I'm tired, can we go back and rest?" "If you are tired, then go back and rest. However, there is another medicinal bath in 3 hours. You can't refuse it, Holy Sun." Lin Mu looked at Lin Dong and said in a tough tone. Hearing this, Lin Dong's face showed a hurt expression, but he had no choice but to agree. But he soon thought of something, and there was a hint of cunning in Lin Dong's eyes when he looked at Lin Mu, and he spoke in a coquettish tone. "Sister Lin Mu, can you let me play with your phone for a while?" "What do you want that for?" Lin Mu frowned slightly when he heard this. Although they were all Saint King level warriors, the advertising of the Wu Chamber of Commerce was so strong that they could not help but buy one. "Then, I got addicted." Lin Shouru didn't have any requests, so they all came here with their cell phones. Lin Dong was bored and saw them playing with their cell phones, so he thought of something and wanted to use an excuse to take the cell phones from them to achieve his own goal. "Isn't this too boring? All I do is take a medicinal bath and exercise all day. I'm almost exhausted. If I don't get some relief, I feel like my mind will become dull. If that affects my cultivation, can you take the responsibility?" Lin Dong's face was full of pity, which made people feel extremely sorry. But Lin Mu is a wise man who has been around for thousands of years. How could he fall for Lin Dong's tricks? Just when Lin Mu was about to reject it sternly, Chen Yu at the side spoke up, with a nonchalant tone. "Lin Mu, if the Holy Sun's thoughts are not open-minded and his practice is affected, the Holy Lord will surely punish us if he knows about this. Besides, this is not a big deal. It's just a cell phone. Let the Holy Sun play with it for a while. It's not a big deal." Hearing Chen Yu speak, Lin Mu hesitated for a moment, but he had no choice but to agree. "It's just a short while, it won't cause any trouble." "Okay, you can only play for a while. You can't play anymore after an hour." Finally, Lin Mu gave in and unlocked his phone and handed it to Lin Dong. After getting the phone, Lin Dong felt excited. He hugged Lin Mu and Chen Yu and kissed them, acting coquettishly. "I know that Sister Lin Mu and Sister Chen Yu are the best. Okay, just have fun. We'll get it back in an hour." After Lin Mu and Chen Yu finished talking, they went downstairs to prepare the things needed for the medicinal bath, leaving Lin Dong alone playing with his phone. After Lin Mu and Chen Yu left, Lin Dong quickly slid his phone across the screen, and soon found Duiying, and clicked on it directly, muttering as he operated. "I remember it should be operated like this, okay." Soon, Lin Dong found what he wanted to operate and started the live broadcast directly. Perhaps because Lin Mu himself is an internet celebrity with a certain fan base, a lot of viewers came in as soon as the live broadcast started. Of course, they all came in because of Lin Mu. However, Lin Mu, who was thinking about her, did not see it. Instead, he saw a ridiculously cute child. I entered the wrong room. Isn't this the live broadcast room of Goddess Lin Mu? Why is there a child? Something's wrong. Why is there a child? It's fine if it's just a child, but why is it so cute? I want to hug it and kiss it. Wait, this child appeared in Goddess Lin Mu's live broadcast room, which means he was using Goddess Lin Mu's phone to broadcast live. This proves that he must be someone Goddess Lin Mu knows, so the case is solved. This is Goddess Lin Mu's child. What? Miss Lin Mu has a child? Heartbreaking. Seeing that the number of people in the live broadcast room had reached a terrifying 100,000, Lin Dong knew that the time had come, so he deliberately acted cute and said, "No, you brothers and sisters are wrong. I am not Sister Lin Mu's son. I have my own parents. My name is Lin Dong." After knowing that this child was not Lin Mu's, the male monks in the live broadcast room breathed a sigh of relief. After all, Lin Mu's online persona was a single goddess. If Lin Dong was really Lin Mu's child, all netizens would feel that they had been deceived by Lin Mu. Just when they were curious about why Lin Dong used Lin Mu's phone to open a live broadcast room, Lin Dong took the initiative to speak. Actually I'm doing this live broadcast because I have something to ask all the brothers and sisters. My dad is missing and my mom has been locked up. I want to know where my dad is. Can you come and save me and my mom? My mother is the saint of Rao Shui Holy Land, Lin Zixin. As Lin Dong shared this news, the entire internet exploded. P.S. Let me add a little bit about the setting. Profound Heaven World is just a complete continent, so you don't have to compare it with the Great Emperor in the Great Sky. The Great Emperor can destroy a star domain, but the size of Profound Heaven World is set to be as large as the entire Milky Way, which is 12,000 times larger than the solar system. It is not a problem for the Great Emperor to destroy an area the size of the solar system with one full-strength attack. So don't say that the Great Emperor is weak, it's just that the author's description makes you feel that the Great Emperor is weak. In addition, there is technology and so on, which is not the main line, but can only be said to be a sideline, or not even a sideline. It is written just for the author's bad taste, or just to satisfy the protagonist's daily entertainment. Or if the author transmigrates to a similar world one day, he will also vigorously develop technology, so don't hold on to this point anymore, thank you. Chapter 77. What? The saint of the soft water Holy Land actually has a child. What the hell? Isn't the saint of the soft water Holy Land Lin Zixin? Isn't her dream to lead the entire soft water Holy Land to glory? How come she gave birth to a child without saying anything? I am now very curious, who on earth could make the arrogant Saint Lin Zixin give birth to a child for him? When Lin Dong revealed that he was Lin Zixin's child and begged everyone to help him find his father, the entire internet went wild, with everyone speculating who Lin Dong's biological father was. Of course, the premise was that Lin Dong was not lying. However, soon a disciple from the Rao Shui Holy Land came forward to say that the Holy Maiden of their Rao Shui Holy Land had indeed not appeared for a long time, which made everyone speculate, could it be that Lin Zixin really gave birth to a child? Lin Dong on this side quickly turned off the live broadcast after seeing Lin Mu and others coming back, pretending that nothing had happened. What are you playing? Lin Mu came over and asked curiously. Lin Dong casually played the picture of Candy Crush. Casual games. Lin Mu didn't feel anything. After all, Lin Dong was just a 4-year-old child. How could he have any bad intentions? But what she didn't know was that Lin Dong had many other little thoughts in mind. On the other side, Lin Shouru received the news soon after leaving Lin Dong. After seeing Lin Dong's live broadcast, Lin Shouru became furious and rushed back to Lin Dong. At this time, Lin Dong was about to take a medicinal bath, but he saw Lin Shouru rushing over. When they saw Lin Shouru, Lin Mu and Chen Yu suddenly had a bad feeling in their hearts. After all, under normal circumstances, Lin Shouru seldom comes here, basically only once every half a month. But today, she just left and came again right after. It was obvious that something happened. Holy Lord, what happened? Lin Mu stood up and asked curiously, but was directly suppressed to the ground by Lin Shouru, and the same happened to Chen Yu beside him. This sudden change made everyone unable to react. Lin Shouru only said with a gloomy face. Who gave Lin Dong a mobile phone to play with and started the live broadcast? After hearing what Lin Shouru said, Lin Mu and Chen Yu secretly thought that something was wrong. Something had really happened. Holy Lord, it's me. Lin Mu took the initiative to take on this matter. She and Lin Shouru both have the surname Lin, so they are naturally related by blood, but Chen Yu has no blood relationship with Lin Shouru at all. If he admitted it himself, he would only be punished a little, not sentenced to death. But if Chen Yu admitted it, Lin Shouru would not be merciful. Hearing Lin Mu admit it, Lin Shouru became even angrier. She snorted coldly and the pressure she exerted on Lin Mu became even stronger. Do you know what happened? It was because you gave the phone to Lin Dong that Lin Dong started the live broadcast. Now the whole network knows that the saint of my Rao Shui Holy Land is pregnant before marriage. Hearing this, Lin Mu was even more shocked. It was obvious that she had not expected Lin Dong to be so thoughtful that he even remembered how she started the live broadcast and could use his mobile phone to find his family. But things have come to this point, and there is no room for redemption. Thinking of this, Lin Mu sighed helplessly. When he opened his mouth to say something, Lin Dong, who was preparing for a medicinal bath, jumped down and stood in front of Lin Mu. Grandma, this is my own decision. It has nothing to do with Sister Lin Mu and the others. If you want to punish me, just punish me. After saying that, Lin Dong held his head high and puffed out his chest. An aura of fearlessness of death emanated from him, causing Lin Shouru to sigh helplessly. After all, he is her grandson, and a peerless genius who possesses the innate Dao fetus holy body. How could she possibly punish Lin Dong? So after she breathed a sigh of relief, Lin Shouru said helplessly. Lin Mu, you were negligent in taking care of Lin Dong. As punishment, you will be sent to Gangfeng Cliff to be imprisoned for 100 years. After hearing what Lin Shouru said, Lin Mu also thought of something, and a trace of fear flashed across his face, but he could only sigh and agree. 100 years in prison is already a good thing, it's better than death. However, Gangfeng Cliff is not a good place. There are terrible gale winds sweeping through the cliff all the time. If a normal Saint King enters, he will naturally not be afraid. However, when entering the Gangfeng Cliff, one's cultivation will be restricted, which means that one will have to persist in the Gangfeng for 100 years with a mortal body, which is naturally a great pain. Lin Dong was about to cry when he saw this, and wanted to beg for mercy, but Lin Shouru obviously didn't buy it. This was already a very light punishment. If it was any lighter, she would be embarrassed to explain to the elders in Rao Shui Holy Land. As for Chen Yu, he was also transferred away. After all, because of this incident, Lin Dong's situation needed to be replanned, such as supervising Lin Dong's strongmen and medicinal bath training. Don't bear a grudge against Grandma. When you grow up, you will know that Grandma did all this for your own good. After Lin Shouru finished speaking, she turned and left, leaving Lin Dong alone crying. As soon as this matter was released, it caused an uproar on the internet. After all, no matter what time it was, the saints and saint daughters of the four holy places were always heavyweight figures, not to mention a top genius like Lin Zixin. At this time in the Wu family, So Kioran had just broken through to the middle stage of Saint King and came out of retreat. When she came out of retreat, she saw Wu Hao brushing the shaking shadow, but Wu Hao's brows were slightly frowned, as if something had happened. What's wrong, husband? Coming to Wu Hao's side, So Kioran spoke, and Wu Hao finally reacted. With a serious expression, he turned the screen to So Kioran, and on it was Lin Dong's photo. When So Kioran saw Lin Dong's photo, she was still a little curious, but Wu Hao spoke the next second. This is the bloodline of our Wu family. What? So Kioran was stunned. She obviously didn't expect that someone in their Wu family would do such a thing, abandoning his wife and children. If she knew who did this, she would definitely expel him from the Wu family. Ah, what happened? Damn it! At this time in the eastern region, Wu Yifan looked at the moon shadow wolf that was chasing him madly from behind and felt very unhappy. The moon shadow wolf chasing Wu Yifan let out an angry roar. Damn human, you actually attacked me while I was resting. Die! Hey, I just took one of your teeth. Is there any need to be so angry? Wu Yifan fled in panic. After all, the one behind him was not an ordinary moon shadow wolf, but a moon shadow wolf that had broken through to the middle stage of Quasi Emperor. By chance, Wu Yifan discovered this resting moon shadow wolf. He needed the moon shadow wolf's fangs to lift the 9th level restriction of the ancient sacred body, so he chose to take action. But he didn't expect that the moon shadow wolf was so vindictive and chased him for so long, from the western region to the eastern region. Chapter 78. Hey, I finally got rid of the moon shadow wolf. If it catches up with me, it will be a tough fight. After spending a little time, Wu Yifan finally got rid of the Moon Shadow Wolf's pursuit. But at this moment, the phone in his storage ring vibrated. Wu Yifan was very curious about who sent him the message, but after seeing the picture above, Wu Yifan was stunned. All he saw on the screen was the video Wu Hao had sent him. In it, Lin Dong said that his mother was Lin Zixin and that he didn't know who his father was. The moment he saw Lin Dong, Wu Yifan didn't know why he felt an extremely intimate feeling in his heart, as if Lin Dong was his own child. Lin Dong is my child? Why would I have such a strange thought? Lin Zixin and I are not close at all. She even wanted to kill me, so how could she give birth to a child for me? And I don't feel anything at all. Wu Yifan was thinking doubtfully in his heart, and when he was about to suppress this absurd idea, Wu Hao called him. After hesitating for a long time, Wu Yifan finally answered the phone. But after answering the call, Wu Hao and So Kioran looked extremely gloomy, which made Wu Yifan feel bad. He knew that his great-grandfather would not look for him casually, and would not send him a video of a child for no reason. Could this child really be his own? The next second, Wu Hao spoke, directly verifying Wu Yifan's inner thoughts. You should have seen it. That child is indeed the blood of our Wu family. But great-grandfather, I don't have any feelings at all. How could I have a child for no reason? And with Lin Zixin? Wu Yifan widened his eyes and said in disbelief, the main reason was that there was a child for no reason, and the key was that he didn't feel anything at all, he just felt like he became a father in a daze. Wu Hao shook his head and said seriously. That's the bloodline of our Wu family. What are you going to do? Although he didn't know why he had an extra child for no reason, Wu Yifan knew that he had to shoulder this responsibility and at least find out what had happened. Grandpa, I want to bring Lin Dong back. Well, if that's the case, then go ahead and do it. Great-grandfather will take you there personally. Wu Hao spoke calmly, his tone full of dominance. Wu Yifan heaved a sigh of relief after hearing this, for he really had no confidence in facing the Rao Shui Holy Land. After all, he still lacked 100,000-year-old willow lightning-struck wood to gather all the rare treasures needed to lift the 9th level restriction of the ancient holy body. As long as he gathered the last rare treasure, he would be able to lift the 9th level restriction of the ancient holy body and achieve the terrifying combat power to fight the great emperor with his physical body alone. By then, even if the Rao Shui Holy Land wanted to stop me, it would not be able to do so. Thank you, great-grandfather. If that's the case, then I'll have to trouble you. Wu Yifan did not act pretentiously and agreed directly. The main reason was that the Rao Shui Holy Land was too powerful now. By the time he could rival the Rao Shui Holy Land, it would be too late. Wu Hao nodded and hung up the phone. Lin Zixin, what happened at that time? Why did we have a child? Wu Yifan lowered his head with a very serious expression. It has to be said that although God gave Wu Yifan an extremely powerful talent, he also became a straight man who could not even understand such a simple thing. On the other side, Wu Hao looked at So Kioran after hanging up the phone. So Kioran naturally knew what Wu Yifan wanted to do, so she nodded. My dear, I will go with you. Well, if that's the case, then let's go. Wu Hao nodded, and in a flash he took So Kioran and disappeared into the Wu family. With Wu Hao's current cultivation at the peak of the Golden Immortal, he can go anywhere in heaven and on earth. It is no exaggeration to say that if he wants to destroy the entire profound heaven world, Wu Hao only needs one strike to do it. Soon, Wu Hao brought So Kioran to Wu Yifan's side. Wu Yifan was in the western region at that time. After seeing Wu Hao and So Kioran, he quickly spoke. Great-grandfather, great-grandmother. Well, although we don't know what happened, the most important thing right now is to bring Lin Zixin and Lin Dong back to find out what happened. The bloodline of our Wu family cannot suffer outside. Wu Hao's expression was calm and his tone was indifferent, but he was firm and non-committal. Wu Yifan naturally nodded and agreed. Since it concerned his son, how could he not care? Wu Hao brought Wu Yifan to the Rao Shui Holy Land in a flash. This scene scared Wu Yifan. You know, they were in the western region, while the Rao Shui Holy Land was in the northern region. Wu Hao led them from the western region to the northern region in just a moment, and even Wu Yifan didn't react at all. I'm afraid that even the great emperor couldn't do this. Thinking of this, Wu Yifan looked at Wu Hao hesitantly and asked. Grandfather, what realm are you in? Don't ask. If you ask, I'm just a little bit stronger than the great emperor. Wu Hao looked calm and spoke slowly. No matter who he is talking to, he will never tell his true realm. This is called keeping a trick up his sleeve. In case someone attacks him, he can catch the other person off guard. After hearing what Wu Hao said, Wu Yifan was silent for a long time, but he was tactful enough not to ask any more questions. However, Wu Yifan's fighting spirit was not extinguished because of this. His goal was to become the strongest in the Wu family. After arriving at the Rao Shui Holy Land, Wu Hao did not hide at all and directly revealed 1/10,000th of his aura, which instantly caused the entire Rao Shui Holy Land to shake. What? This aura is so terrifying. What kind of powerful being has descended upon our Rao Shui Holy Land? Hiss, even as a quasi-emperor at the late stage, I feel powerless and even hopeless. Could it be that he is a great emperor? How is it possible? Where would the great emperor come from in the current profound heaven world? Even in our 4 holy places, there is no great emperor. All the elders in Rao Shui Holy Land were trembling with fear at Wu Hao's aura, and so was Lin Shuoru. It was obvious that she had not expected that there would be such a strong man in such a small profound heaven world, and it was obvious that the other party was coming for Rao Shui Holy Land, so they had no way to avoid him. Taking a deep breath, Lin Shuoru looked at the elders in front of her and spoke slowly. Elders, please follow this holy lord to meet this senior. Chapter 79. Soon, after Wu Hao and others had been waiting for less than 10 seconds, the powerful men from the Rao Shui Holy Land, led by Lin Shuoru, appeared in front of Wu Hao. Lin Shuoru even took out the divine water-fixing pearl and was ready to take action at any time. Who are you? Senior Wu. Hello, Senior Wu. The moment she saw Wu Hao, Lin Shuoru's mind quickly emerged with the horrific memory of being beaten by Li Teibei and others before, and she couldn't help but tremble. After seeing the performance of their own holy lord, the elders of Rao Shui Holy Land thought that their own holy lord knew the other party, so they hurriedly asked. Holy Lord, do you know this senior in front of you? No, I just had the chance to meet Senior Wu in front of me. Senior Wu's figure is something we will never be able to catch up with in our lifetime. Lin Shuoru shook her head and said sincerely. Her words made the elders of the Rao Shui Holy Land present gasp. They knew that their holy lord, with the help of the emperor weapon, could even fight against an early great emperor. But even so, they were still in awe of Wu Hao in front of them. So, how terrifying was Wu Hao's strength? Lin Shuoru glanced at the elders around her and said softly. All right, put away your weapons. There is no need for us to fight in front of Senior Wu. Lin Shuoru was telling the truth. She originally thought she had the strength to fight, but after seeing that it was Wu Hao, she knew that even if all the people in their Rao Shui Holy Land were added together, they would not be Wu Hao's opponent. After all, Wu Hao's strength is really beyond expectations. After hearing the Holy Lord's words, although some elders were still hesitant, most of them put away their weapons. Soon, Lin Shuoru looked at Wu Hao and asked respectfully. Senior Wu, I wonder if you have come to our Rao Shui Holy Land for some important matter. Lin Shuoru knew that Wu Hao would not come to their Rao Shui Holy Land for no reason. As for the previous events, according to Lin Shuoru and others' speculation, they should have been exposed. Otherwise, Wu Hao would not have let them leave alive. After hearing Lin Shuoru's words, Wu Hao glanced at Wu Yifan beside him, and then spoke softly. Lin Dong is the bloodline of our Wu family. Hand him over. What? When Lin Shuoru heard Lin Dong's name from Wu Hao, she secretly felt something was wrong. Then she heard from Wu Hao that Lin Dong was a descendant of the Wu family. Suddenly, Lin Shuoru was stunned. Is it such a coincidence that Lin Dong just detected the innate Dao fetus holy body and Wu Hao came to ask for him right after? Was this really not a plan? Just when Lin Shuoru hesitated, Wu Hao sneered and said as if he had guessed what Lin Shuoru was thinking. If I want to plot against your Rao Shui Holy Land, I can just destroy your Rao Shui Holy Land and take Lin Dong away by force. Why waste my words with you? I won't say the same thing a second time. Bring Lin Dong out. As Wu Hao spoke again, Lin Shuoru finally couldn't help it and quickly turned around to explain. Bring Lin Dong here. After finishing the explanation, Lin Shuoru looked at Wu Hao, bowed, and said respectfully. Senior Wu, I believe you will not lie to me, but I need to know who Lin Dong's biological father is. Here, this is it. Wu Hao glanced at Wu Yifan beside him, and then spoke out. Seeing this, Wu Yifan stood up decisively. He needed to know what had happened and why he suddenly became a father. Just after Wu Yifan stood up, the 3 quasi-emperor early-stage elders who had previously chased Wu Yifan stood up, looked at Lin Shuoru and spoke hurriedly. Holy Lord, this is the thief who peeped at the Saint Lady bathing. Oh, it's you. After hearing that Wu Yifan in front of her was the thief who had peeped at her daughter bathing before, Lin Shouru was furious. If Wu Yifan had not been standing next to Wu Hao at this time, Lin Shouru would have killed Wu Yifan long ago. But even so, this did not prevent Lin Shouru from staring at Wu Yifan with a fierce look. If Wu Hao was not there, Lin Shouru might really attack Wu Yifan. Saint Lord Lin, I didn't do it on purpose. I just accidentally entered your Rao Shui holy land. Please forgive me, Saint Lord Lin. Wu Yifan took a deep breath, bowed to Lin Shouru and apologized, speaking sincerely. But Lin Shouru did not forgive Wu Yifan. Instead, she snorted coldly and continued to stare at Wu Yifan with a fierce look, which made Wu Yifan feel uncomfortable. But there was no other way. After all, Lin Shouru in front of him was Lin Zixin's mother. No matter how angry Wu Yifan was, he would never attack Lin Zixin's mother. Doing so would only make Lin Zixin hate him. Just when the air around him became more suffocating, the elder from before finally came over with Lin Dong. The moment he saw Lin Dong, Wu Yifan could finally feel that it was his own blood flowing in Lin Dong's body. The Lin Dong in front of him was really his son. Lin Dong, who was held by Rao Shui Holy Land, seemed to have sensed something. He looked at Wu Yifan and stretched out his hands excitedly. Daddy, you are my daddy. The quasi-emperor late-stage elder who was holding Lin Dong looked at Lin Shouru with some hesitation. It was obvious that he was struggling over whether to hand Lin Dong over to Wu Yifan. Lin Shouru took a deep breath, suppressed her anger and winked. The elder had no choice but to hand Lin Dong over to Wu Yifan. Lin Shouru knew that if she didn't hand over Lin Dong, with Wu Hao's strength, not to mention their Rao Shui Holy Land, even the 4 major holy lands combined would not be Wu Hao's opponent. Moreover, according to her observation, Wu Yifan in front of her also has extremely terrifying background. Although he is only at the supreme level, his true strength may be able to threaten the quasi-emperor. Wu Yifan took Lin Dong from the elder's hands, and his heart was filled with mixed emotions. It was obvious that he had not expected that he would become a father so soon. Ever since Lin Dong was hugged by Wu Yifan, he refused to let go and his face was full of joy. I, Lin Dong, finally found my father. Donger, where is your mother? Looking at Lin Dong in his arms, Wu Yifan hesitated for a moment but still asked. But when he heard the name of his mother, Lin Dong was stunned for a moment, his little face drooped suddenly, and he looked like he was about to cry, and said in a very aggrieved tone. Dad, they have locked up Mom, can you please save her? P.S. I was delayed today because I took my family to the hospital. I will update 2 chapters for now, and will post the next 3 chapters at 11 o'clock in the evening. Please understand. Chapter 80. After hearing what Lin Dong said in his arms, Wu Yifan's expression became not very good. Although he and Lin Zixin did not have any deep feelings, because Lin Zixin was Lin Dong's biological mother, Wu Yifan would never watch Lin Zixin suffer. Thinking of this, Wu Yifan looked at Lin Shouru with a determined look and spoke. Where's Lin Zixin? Let Lin Zixin come out. Lin Shouru's face looked very ugly at this moment. It was obvious that she had never expected that one day she would be treated like this by a junior. But because of Wu Hao who was standing next to Wu Yifan and eyeing her covetously, Lin Shouru did not dare to say anything. She could only turn around and tell the elders to go to the small world and bring Lin Zixin out. After giving the instructions, Lin Shouru looked at Wu Hao, and after hesitating for a while, she still looked at Wu Hao and asked. Senior Wu, may I know who this is? This one? Is this my great-grandson? How is he? Wu Hao revealed Wu Yifan's identity with a calm expression. After knowing Wu Yifan's identity, Lin Shouru couldn't help but gasp. It was obvious that she didn't expect Wu Yifan to be such a powerful junior. At that moment, many thoughts in her mind were extinguished. The most important thing was that Wu Yifan was the biological father of her grandson. Thinking of this, Lin Shouru raised her head and was about to say something when the elder also came to the scene with Lin Zixin. Lin Zixin also had a confused look on her face at this time. After all, according to her understanding, the decisions made by her mother would usually not change. But after seeing Lin Dong and Wu Yifan not far away, everything seemed to have an answer. Could it be that he knew about the situation here and came to find me and the child? For some reason, Lin Zixin thought of this possibility in her heart, but she soon remembered that her mother was blessed with the Emperor weapon. Even if Wu Yifan broke through to the quasi-emperor, he would not be a match for her mother. Thinking of this, Lin Zixin gritted her teeth and stood up to cover Wu Yifan and Lin Dong's departure, but she didn't expect Lin Shoru to appear in front of her and hold her, with a smile on her face that Lin Zixin had never seen before. My daughter, I agree to your marriage with Wu Xiaowu. Lin Zixin? Wu Yifan? Most of the people present could not help but stand there in a daze after hearing Lin Shoru's words. It was obvious that they did not expect to hear such an answer from Lin Shoru's mouth. You know, Lin Shoru had previously been very tough in asking Lin Zixin to stay in the Rao Shui Holy Land. Now that Lin Shoru has said this, doesn't that mean she is sending Lin Zixin and Lin Dong to someone else? You must know that Lin Zixin is the most talented genius in their Rao Shui Holy Land. As a quasi-emperor who is only over 500 years old, if nothing unexpected happens, she will be the genius with the greatest chance of successfully becoming a great emperor. Lin Dong even possesses the unique innate Dao fetus holy body, which will be even more terrifying than Lin Zixin when he grows up. Now that Lin Shoru has handed it over to someone else, how can the elders of Rao Shui Holy Land agree to it? Just when the elders were about to open their mouths to refute, Lin Zixin spoke first. Mom, you don't have to worry about my marriage for now. Lin Dong, come to Mom. After saying that, Lin Zixin looked at Lin Dong who was nestled in Wu Yifan's arms, but Lin Dong was nestling in Wu Yifan's arms and refused to come out, still acting coquettishly. Mom, I want to be with Dad. Isn't it good for us to be together as a family? After hearing his son's words, Wu Yifan was still a little shy. After all, he and Lin Zixin were not very familiar with each other. Although they had a son, it still could not cover up the fact that they were not familiar with each other. Hearing this, Lin Zixin glared at Wu Yifan. You know, Lin Dong was the one who was closest to her before, but she didn't expect that she would be seduced by Wu Yifan just after meeting him. But I can't care about so many things now. The most important thing is to bring my son back first. However, before Lin Zixin could speak, Wu Hao on the side spoke first. Lin Zixin, Lin Dong is the bloodline of our Wu family. This is an undeniable fact, whether you admit it or not. Moreover, I believe that a child's growth requires sufficient companionship between parents in order to be healthy. So I would like to ask you to live with Lin Dong and Yifan in my Wu family before Lin Dong turns 18. After Lin Dong turns 18, I will not stop you from leaving my Wu family first. Wu Hao's idea is that there is no love between Wu Yifan and Lin Zixin now, so he will create opportunities for Wu Yifan and Lin Zixin to enhance their relationship. Moreover, based on his understanding of Wu Yifan, if Lin Zixin spends some time with Wu Yifan, she will probably like him. After all, isn't that what the child of destiny is like? His luck with women is ridiculously good. If it really doesn't work, then just let time pass and love grow. As Wu Yifan finished speaking, Lin Dong in Wu Yifan's arms couldn't help but act coquettishly. Yes, mother, if father and mother can't accompany me at the same time, I will be unhappy. Wu Yifan was about to say something, but was stopped by a look from Wu Hao. Wu Yifan is a straight man, and if Wu Yifan were allowed to speak, bad things would definitely happen. However, Lin Zixin showed a hint of hesitation when she heard this. It was obvious that she was moved, but she was still struggling inside. The next second, Lin Shoru also sighed and said, My daughter, you have grown up and you should have the right to pursue your own happiness. As for the holy land of Rao Shui, your old bones can still handle it, so you can go with peace of mind. As Lin Shoru finished her words, Lin Zixin's eyes became firm, and she looked at Wu Yifan and spoke word by word. For the sake of the child, I will stay with you for a while, but you can't mess around. If you do, I will leave. Wu Yifan actually wanted to say that there was no need to embarrass himself in this way, but when he looked at his great-grandfather, his eyes seemed to say that he would be kicked out of the Wu family if he dared to refuse. In addition, Lin Dong in his arms looked extremely pitiful, so he could only nod and agree. Don't worry, I will respect you, and I won't force you if you are not satisfied with me. Seeing that Lin Zixin was finally going to marry into the Wu family, Lin Shoru finally breathed a sigh of relief. Although the elders present were puzzled as to why Lin Shoru wanted to send Lin Zixin and Lin Dong away, only Lin Shoru herself knew how powerful Wu Hao was. If she did not hand over Lin Zixin and Lin Dong, then with Wu Hao's strength, he would definitely destroy the entire Rao Shui Holy Land and take Lin Zixin and Lin Dong away. Although the facts are a bit exaggerated, they are enough to illustrate Wu Hao's strength. Chapter 81. Senior Wu, although I am very happy that Zixin can marry into your Wu family, shouldn't this wedding be more grand? Lin Shoru looked at Wu Hao and asked. Wu Hao glanced at Lin Shuoru, causing her to break out in a cold sweat. Wu Hao naturally knew what Lin Shuoru was thinking. She just wanted to make the marriage bigger and let the forces of the entire profound heaven world know that their Rao Shui Holy Land had attached itself to the behemoth Wu family. Wu Hao didn't have any aversion to Lin Shuoru's actions. He just wanted to make the Rao Shui Holy Land more powerful, which was not shabby. After thinking about it, Wu Hao looked at Wu Yifan. What do you think about this? Grandpa, I want to bring Lin Zixin home in a formal ceremony. Wu Yifan stated his decision in all seriousness. No matter what, with Lin Dong, he and Lin Zixin had an unbreakable bond, so no matter what, he would marry Lin Zixin and bring her home in a formal ceremony. Of course, the most important thing is that although they have been together for a short time, he can actually see that Lin Zixin is a good girl, otherwise she would not have helped him when she met the messenger of the Blood Soul sect, and she could have just left. That's why Wu Yifan decided to try to get along with Lin Zixin. After hearing Wu Yifan's answer without hesitation, Lin Zixin's ears turned red, and she was obviously shy. Hearing this, Wu Hao nodded, looked at Lin Shuoru and spoke. If that's the case, then let's set the date for 7 days later. 7 days later, someone from my Wu family will come to pick up the bride. Also, this is the betrothal gift from my Wu family. People in the Wu family would give gifts and dowries when they married their wives and daughters, even if the woman was pregnant before marriage. After saying that, Wu Hao directly threw a storage ring to Lin Shuoru. After seeing the things inside the storage ring, Lin Shuoru couldn't help but stand there in a daze, and her breathing became rapid. After putting away the storage ring, Lin Shuoru's eyes changed when she looked at Wu Hao. If she was very odd before, now she was 100% odd. Senior, no, Elder Wu, from now on, our Rao Shui Holy Land is willing to follow the lead of your Wu family. If anything happens to the Wu family, we will definitely not sit idly by if you give us an order. After hearing Lin Shuoru's words, the elders present could no longer sit still. Holy Lord, you must not do that. Our Rao Shui Holy Land is the overlord of the profound heaven world. If this gets out, wouldn't it be a loss of face? Yes, please take back your order, Lord. Most of the elders begged Lin Shuoru to take back her decision. Only the elders at the peak of quasi-emperor level looked at Lin Shuoru with a serious expression. They all knew that Lin Shuoru had made such a decision for absolutely no reason. So there was only one possibility. There was something very precious in the storage ring, something that could make their Rao Shui Holy Land the leader of the 4 holy lands in one fell swoop. Lin Shuoru frowned slightly when she heard that, and growled in a dignified manner. Shut up! Are you the Holy Lord or am I the Holy Lord? If you are dissatisfied with my decision, you can just leave my Rao Shui Holy Land and I will not pursue you at all. Upon hearing this, the elders who had refuted the idea shut up tactfully. They must be kidding. Although they could just leave Rao Shui Holy Land, if the news got out, which force would dare to take the risk of offending Rao Shui Holy Land and accept them? After scolding the elders behind her, Lin Shuoru looked at Wu Yifan with a satisfied smile on her face and said. In that case, from today on, you are my good son-in-law. If Zixin makes you angry, just tell your mother-in-law and she will teach her a lesson for you. Lin Zixin? Wu Yifan shook his head and said seriously. Mother-in-law, since I have accepted Zixin, I will not be dissatisfied with her, so don't worry. I have to say that Wu Yifan is very good at adapting to the situation and he simply changed his words to call her mother-in-law. And Wu Hao spoke at this time. Okay, if that's the case, I'll take Wu Yifan back first, and come to your Rao Shui Holy Land to marry Lin Zixin in 7 days. Hearing his great-grandfather speak, Wu Yifan looked at Lin Dong in his arms and spoke softly. Son, stay with your mother. Your father will come and take you home in 7 days. No, I want to be with daddy. Lin Dong said reluctantly. Hearing this, Wu Yifan was really reluctant to let him go. However, when he saw Lin Zixin's murderous expression, he hardened his heart and continued speaking. Be good, mother needs you too. Wait for father to come and take you home in 7 days. Under Wu Yifan's heartfelt narration, Lin Dong could only let go of Wu Yifan's hands and said with a pitiful look on his face. Then daddy, mom and I will be waiting for you to take us home in 7 days. Please don't forget it. Well, I promise you. Wu Yifan nodded and agreed seriously, then left with his great-grandfather and great-grandmother. Lin Shuoru heaved a sigh of relief after seeing Wu Hao and the others leave. At this moment, the 4 quasi-emperor elders of Rao Shui Holy Land came to Lin Shuoru's side and looked at her with serious expressions. What's in that storage ring? It actually made you make such a decision on the spot. Immortal weapons are even better than emperor weapons. Lin Shuoru took a deep breath, letting her inner shock subside, and then spoke word by word. After hearing Lin Shuoru's words, the 4 quasi-emperor elders could no longer sit still and looked at Lin Shuoru and asked again and again. Holy Lord, that is a divine weapon. Could it be that you sensed it wrongly and it is actually an emperor weapon? The second elder hesitated slightly, then looked at Lin Shuoru, but then he thought of something and fell silent. Yes, if it is not a fairy weapon but just an emperor weapon, then what? You should know that there are only 4 emperor weapons in the profound heaven world now, and this is because Lin Shuoru and others don't know that the emperor weapon in the Wanhua Holy Land has been destroyed. If Wu Hao can take out an emperor weapon as a gift, it means that Wu Hao has more than one emperor weapon in his hand, or there is a more terrifying possibility, that is, the emperor weapon is nothing to Wu Hao. Lin Shuoru looked serious and shook her head. No, that is definitely not the power of an emperor weapon. It is definitely a fairy weapon. I feel that if the water-fixing divine pearl touches that fairy weapon, it will definitely fall apart and be damaged. Hearing Lin Shuoru's serious words, the others fell silent. Lin Shuoru continued. This Saint Lord and the other 3 Saint Lords met Senior Wu in the southern domain. Even though we 4 Saint Lords used our emperor weapons to unleash our full power, we were still defeated by him. That's why this Saint Lord came back with injuries. After hearing Lin Shuoru's words, the other 4 elders also remembered the miserable situation when Lin Shuoru returned several years ago. When they asked, Lin Shuoru kept silent. They didn't expect it was this reason. Moreover, if we want to break through to the Great Emperor, perhaps relying on Senior Wu and marrying into the Wu family will allow us to break through to the Great Emperor. The 4 elders couldn't help but breathe faster when they heard this. In fact, no one wanted to break through to the Great Emperor more than them, and now that the opportunity was right in front of them, how could they not be excited? Chapter 82. On the other side, Wu Hao brought Wu Yifan back to the Wu family and explained the matter to Wu Quncan and others. So, you got pregnant before marriage and have a 4-year-old child. Wu Quncan looked at Wu Yifan and was about to pull the belt off his pants while speaking. Seeing this, Wu Yifan hurriedly spoke. Dad, listen to me first. I didn't know anything about this matter. I didn't know anything at the time. It just happened in a muddle, and she left without saying a word. Brother, don't just stand there and watch the show. Looking at his 3 younger brothers who were watching the show on the side, Wu Yifan quickly spoke. P.S. Wu Quncan and his wife did not stop there after giving birth to Wu Yifan. They gave birth to 3 children, named Wu Yujian, Wu Ili, and Wu Yishan. They all have high-grade spiritual roots and no special physical constitutions. Brother, there's nothing we can do. We can't beat Dad. You can only take care of yourself. Wu Yujian looked at Wu Yifan and sighed, saying that at this time Wu Quncan had already broken through to the peak of transcending tribulation. The 3 younger brothers were obviously not as evil as Wu Yifan, so when they saw the furious Wu Quncan, they obviously did not dare to step forward to stop Wu Quncan. Although no one in the Wu family could suppress Wu Yifan's cultivation except Wu Hao, how could Wu Yifan possibly attack his own father? So he could only plan to dodge. But at this moment, Wu Hao spoke. Okay, stop it. It's not proper to fight like this. Grandpa has spoken, otherwise I will make sure you have a good meal. Wu Quncan snorted coldly, then took the belt back. Only then did Wu Yifan breathe a sigh of relief. Although he is very powerful, how could he possibly lay hands on his own father? Grandpa, how can we solve this problem? Wu Quncan looked at Wu Hao and asked. Wu Hao expressed his plan. Although the Wu Chamber of Commerce is known as the #1 chamber of commerce in the entire profound heaven world, in fact, as the power behind the scenes, not many people know about our Wu family. So I plan to let Yifan marry Lin Zixin in a grand manner, which will also allow our Wu family to appear in the public eye in profound heaven world. Wu Hao is not someone who likes to keep a low profile. It is understandable that he kept a low profile before because of his low strength, but if he still keeps a low profile now that he is about to break through to Golden Immortal, then it would not be good. After hearing Wu Hao's decision, Wu Quncan and others nodded. Although the other sons have married and started families, as the first son, Wu Quncan and others are still very worried about Wu Yifan's lifelong affairs. Now that they know that Wu Yifan's marriage partner is the Holy Maiden of the Holy Land, they naturally will not refuse. You kid, if you dare to make Zixin sad, I will be the first one to not let you go. When Bai Yu looked at Wu Quncan and spoke in an extremely serious tone, Wu Yifan couldn't help but smile bitterly. He had already guessed the pitiful future of his family's status plummeting after Lin Zixin came home. Fortunately, Wu Yifan is still thinking about improving his cultivation quickly, so not long after the wedding, Wu Yifan estimated that he would use the excuse of leaving the Wu family to go outside and look for the last rare treasure to unlock the 9th level restriction of the ancient holy body. As if he had thought of Wu Yifan's idea, Wu Hao said lightly, "This is what you need." After saying that, Wu Hao directly took out a piece of charred wood that was extremely black and emitting lightning. The moment Wu Yifan saw the charred wood, his breathing quickened. "This is 100,000-year-old willow struck by lightning. Well, this is what my great-grandfather found for you. With this 100,000-year-old lightning-struck willow wood, the 9th level restriction of your ancient sacred body can be unlocked. So within these 7 days, you must first unlock the restriction of the ancient sacred body, and then go and bring my good great-grandson back." Wu Hao said slowly that if Wu Yifan had searched at his own speed, it would probably take a long time to find the 100,000-year-old willow struck by lightning wood, so Wu Hao used his own abilities to artificially create the 100,000-year-old willow struck by lightning wood. Anyway, it is destined that Wu Yifan will be able to unlock the 9th level restriction of the ancient holy body, so it should not be a big deal if I send the opportunity to Wu Yifan a little earlier. Ding! Congratulations to the host for gifting the descendants of the Son of Destiny a 100,000-year-old willow struck by lightning wood. 1,100,000-year-old willow struck by lightning would have been received as feedback. Is it synthetic? Synthesis. Wu Hao muttered to himself, since he could artificially create a 100,000-year-old willow struck by lightning wood, it would only be a matter of time for him to have 1,000,000 willows struck by lightning wood. It would be better to synthesize it directly. Ding! The synthesis is successful. Congratulations to the host for obtaining 10,000 Divine Thunder trees. Divine Thunder wood. It can help cultivators who practice the Great Dao of Thunder and Lightning to quickly comprehend the Great Dao of Thunder and Lightning. It is an extremely good product. The Divine Thunder wood is a good thing, but I can't use it. Wu Hao shook his head and put the Divine Thunder wood out of his mind. If there was a child of destiny with lightning power appearing later in his life, he would give it to him. I understand, great-grandfather. I will definitely not let you down. I will definitely lead our Wu family to the top. Wu Yifan was deeply moved. After speaking to Wu Hao, he turned around and prepared to attack the 9th level of the restriction of the ancient holy body. Wu Hao looked confused, but after he reacted, a knowing smile appeared on his face. Work harder, everyone, work harder. If you don't work hard, how can I be invincible? On the other hand, after the matter was discussed, Rao Shui Holy Land publicized the news that the Holy Maiden of Rao Shui Holy Land, Lin Zixin, would marry into the Wu family soon. On the other side, Lin Zixin and Wu Yifan logged into their microwaves at the same time and told them about this matter. When facing questions from netizens, Lin Zixin clearly stated, "Yes, we have a child." This immediately confirmed the matter, and broke the hearts of the geniuses who had a crush on Lin Zixin in Profound Heaven World. After all, Lin Zixin was beautiful, kind-hearted, and talented, so it was hard not to love her. But soon, they were heartbroken and despaired. The Wu Chamber of Commerce directly sent out a message, claiming that Wu Yifan was the prodigy of the Wu family behind them, and specifically pointed out that Wu Yifan had already cultivated to the supreme realm before he was 100 years old. The netizens' hanging hearts finally died at this moment. They are a talented couple and a beautiful woman, so how could they, as independent cultists, oppose this? So now they can only wish Lin Zixin happiness. Chapter 83. Are you serious about this? At this moment in the Qinglian Holy Land, Li Teibei has also gathered the elders of the Qinglian Holy Land. After hearing Li Bai's words, one of the elders stood up and bowed respectfully. Holy Lord, after multiple investigations, it has been confirmed that this matter is true. Hearing this, Li Bai sighed and murmured. That would be difficult. After the 4 great saints returned to their respective holy places, they tacitly did not tell anyone that even though they joined forces, they were still defeated by Wu Hao in one move. After all, if the news got out that even though the 4 great saints joined forces, they were still not as good as Wu Hao in one move, they would no longer be able to stay in Profound Heaven World from now on. But what they didn't expect was that Lin Shuoru sent her daughter to the Wu family without saying a word. They naturally knew about Lin Zixin's talent, and if nothing unexpected happened, it would be the great emperor seed. But it's also true that you can't catch a wolf without sacrificing a lamb. Although Lin Zixin is a great emperor seed, Wu Hao is the real great emperor. If Wu Hao can become the backer of their Rao Shui Holy Land, it means that Rao Shui Holy Land has gained a lot. It's troublesome. Perhaps we should also ask the Holy Son and Holy Daughter of the Qinglian Holy Land to seduce the people of the Wu family. Li Teibei sighed, then looked at the elders present and spoke. The marriage of the Holy Maiden of Rao Shui Holy Land is a very important event for Rao Shui Holy Land. Our Qinglian Holy Land has a good relationship with Rao Shui Holy Land, so we naturally have to send a gift. When the time comes, this Holy Lord will bring the gift to Rao Shui Holy Land. Yes, Holy Lord. On the other side, in the Jinglei Holy Land, Lei Wanyun also made the same decision after sighing. After all, they all knew how powerful the Wu family was, and now it seemed that they had no other choice except to have good relations with the Rao Shui Holy Land. Just after Lei Wanyun left the temple, a figure hurriedly came to Lei Wanyun with an expression of disbelief on his face. Dad, can you please tell me that this is not true? This is fake, right? Looking at his son Lei Jingzhan in front of him, Lei Wanyun sighed helplessly, and then spoke extremely cruel words in a soft tone. Son, accept it, this is true. No, I don't accept it. Zixin and I love each other, why should we separate? Hearing his son's words, Lei Wanyun sighed helplessly. Earlier, your father asked you to take the initiative, but you were extremely reserved and seemed unwilling to pursue Lin Zixin. Now that she is about to get married, you should just give up on this idea. No, I absolutely won't accept it. I'm going to find that guy and fight him to the death. Zixin should like me too. After Lei Jingzhan finished speaking, he turned around and prepared to go to Southern Domain to challenge Wu Yifan, but the moment Lei Jingzhan turned around, Lei Wanyun suddenly attacked and imprisoned Lei Jingzhan. Looking at what his father did, Lei Jingzhan's eyes were full of disbelief. It was obvious that he had not expected that his father, who had always loved him so much, would actually attack him. Lei Wanyun's face was full of helplessness, and he spoke earnestly. Son, stop it. You are no match for Wu Yifan, and our Jinglei Holy Land is no match for the Wu family. All you can do now is give your blessing to Lin Zixin. No, I won't accept this result. I like Lin Zixin so much. Lin Zixin should be forced to marry him. I will never let this happen. Father, I beg you to let me go. Lei Jingzhan's face was full of pleading, but it was obvious that Lei Wanyun would not let his son sacrifice the entire Jinglei Holy Land to offend the Wu family. With a resolute expression on his face, Lei Jingzhan turned around, looked at the elder not far away and spoke. Take the Holy Son away to me. Don't let him leave the Holy Land of Thunder. Yes, Holy Lord. Soon an elder came and took Lei Jingzhan down. Seeing his son struggling, Lei Wanyun muttered to himself. I'm sorry, son, please forgive me. On the other hand, Wu Yifan began to retreat after obtaining the 100,000-year-old willow thunderstruck wood. He was adept at refining the precious liquid and quickly integrated all the things he needed. Looking at the precious liquid in front of him that was emitting terrifying energy, Wu Yifan took a deep breath and then jumped down resolutely. The moment he entered the precious liquid, Wu Yifan felt an incomparably terrifying force flowing through his body, destroying it violently and then reorganizing it. The pain made Wu Yifan grit his teeth and encourage himself in his heart. Come on, Wu Yifan, you are going to become the strongest person in the Wu family, the man who will lead the entire Wu family to the top. How can you fall down like this? With this belief, the 9th level restriction of the ancient holy body in Wu Yifan's body was slowly being released, while Wu Hao's body on the other side was also becoming stronger at a rapid speed. Based on the current situation, I'm afraid my physical body will break through to golden immortal before my realm does. Wu Hao thought to himself that with the system's cover-up, he wouldn't worry about the aura here being concealed. At the same time, when Wu Yifan began to attack the 9th level of the ancient saint body's restriction, Wu Hao also set up restrictions to prevent Wu Yifan's aura from leaking out. After all, the Blood Soul sect is still eyeing him covetously, so naturally he has to keep a few more cards in reserve for Wu Yifan. At the same time, Wu Yida in Tianwu Mountain also learned that his cousin was going to get married, and hesitantly wondered whether he should go back to take a look. But he soon shook his head. After all, the road to Immortal Dao is long and there will be a chance to see him in the future. The most important thing for him right now is to reach the Saint King realm first and participate in the Four Saints competition in 5 years. The same was true for Wu Li. With the help of the Palm Saint bottle, Wu Li's breakthrough speed had also increased during this period. After joining Xiaoao Peak, he had broken through from the gold core stage to the soul formation stage in just over a decade. Although his speed was not as fast as some geniuses, it was already very good among ordinary cultivators. Wu Li, Mom and Dad, I won't be going back for my cousin's wedding, so you should include my share of the gift in the gift. Wu Yida, me too. Time passed quietly and quickly, and 6 days later, it was the most important time for Wu Yifan to break through the 9th level of the ancient saint body. Chapter 84. At this moment, Wu Yifan was immersed in his own world. He didn't know how much time had passed. He only knew that his body had become incredibly strong under the irrigation of the precious liquid. Bang! Following a crisp sound, Wu Yifan suddenly opened his eyes and saw Wu Hao appear in front of him. Great-grandfather! Can you hurry up? Tomorrow is the day you are going to bring Lin Zixin and the others back. After hearing his great-grandfather's scolding, Wu Yifan finally reacted and nodded quickly. At this moment, the 9th level restriction of the ancient holy body in his body was also released. A terrifying aura burst out from Wu Yifan's body, directly exploding the entire barrel, which could not withstand Wu Yifan's aura at all. Seeing this scene, Wu Hao nodded with satisfaction, then disappeared into Wu Yifan's cave mansion. Because of the backup plan Wu Hao had left behind, the terrifying phenomenon of Wu Yifan's ancient holy body breaking through to the 9th level of restriction did not spread out. Otherwise, it would have caused an uproar in the entire profound heaven world. This power is terrifying. I should be able to defeat the great emperor with my physical body now, right? But the most powerful person in the Blood Soul sect may not only be the great emperor. I still need a stronger power. Wu Yifan thought to himself, and then he felt a chill in his lower body, and then he realized that he was still naked. Thinking of this, Wu Yifan quickly took out a set of clothes from his storage ring and changed into them. After changing his clothes, he walked out of his cave mansion. At this moment, the Wu family's house had already been decorated to look joyous. After all, tomorrow was not only the day Wu Yifan was going to marry Lin Zixin, but also the auspicious day when their Wu family would move from the secret profound heaven world to the open. Naturally, it needed to be grand. Looking at this scene, Wu Yifan just shook his head and didn't care too much. Soon it was the next day. Wu Hao decided that the wedding carriage would be 9 dragons that had reached the early quasi-emperor level. This was mainly due to the urgency of time and the fact that there were no real dragons in the profound heaven world, so the dragons had to be used instead. As for why Jiaolong was willing to become the Wu family's vehicle, it was because Wu Hao showed his terrifying personal charm, strength, and under a little bit of coercion, Jiaolong agreed. Of course, Wu Hao actually has another idea, which is to train these 9 dragons into real dragons. In this way, their Wu family can be regarded as a respectable force. According to what Wu Hao knew, even in the upper realm, true dragons were considered extremely powerful beings. They were born in the transcending tribulation stage and became true immortals after reaching adulthood. It seems that I have to find an opportunity to go up to the upper realm to take a look. But then again, system, if I go to the upper realm, can I still come down? Ding! Once your cultivation reaches the golden immortal level, you can travel freely between the upper and lower realms. Hearing this, Wu Hao made up his mind. Anyway, he would soon break through to golden immortal, so he would wait until he broke through to golden immortal and then go up to take a look. Golden immortal should be considered a high-end combat force up there. On the other hand, Wu Yifan finally realized at this moment how powerful the Wu family behind him was, and they could even get 9 quasi-emperor realm dragons. This was also the first time that Wu Yifan felt that maybe he didn't need to rely on his own efforts to become stronger, and being a playboy seemed like a good idea. But Wu Yifan quickly shook his head and rejected this idea. He, Wu Yifan, wanted to be a man who could stand tall and proud. A real man was born between heaven and earth, so how could he be depressed and live under someone else's command for long? Soon Wu Yifan arrived above the heads of the 9 dragons. With Wu Yifan's order, the 9 dragons flew towards the north region in unison. Their terrifying figures covered the sky and countless cultivators who saw them couldn't help but take out their mobile phones to take pictures and post them on WeChat moments. FK, guess what I saw today? 9 powerful dragons, and there were people on top of the dragons. Is this the Wu family's strength? They can even control a dragon from the quasi-emperor realm. Hiss, I feel that from now on, profound heaven world will no longer be dominated by the 4 sacred lands. Perhaps the Wu family's strength is far superior to that of the four sacred lands. Some people made extremely bold guesses, but they were quickly rejected by others. Impossible, absolutely impossible. The four sacred grounds have the emperor weapon. No matter how powerful the Wu family is, they can never be a match for the four sacred grounds, unless the Wu family also has the emperor weapon. After all, the four holy lands have been famous throughout the profound heaven world for a long time and are deeply rooted in the hearts of the monks of the profound heaven world. Naturally, they would not think that anyone is a rival to the four holy lands. There had been cases where quasi-emperors had challenged the majesty of the four holy places, but they were killed by the saint masters of the four holy places in less than 3 days. Since then, no one dared to challenge the majesty of the four holy places. On the other side, in the Rao Shui Holy Land, Lin Zixin and Lin Dong had prepared everything, waiting for Wu Yifan to take them home. Of course, Lin Zixin swore that she was only with Wu Yifan temporarily for the sake of the child. There is nothing wrong between her and Wu Yifan. Sitting next to Lin Zixin, Lin Dong blinked his big eyes and asked curiously, "Mom, when will Dad come to pick us up?" Strange, it came so quickly. Lin Zixin smiled, tapped Lin Dong's nose and said, but then she thought of something and spoke again. "Donger, starting tomorrow you shouldn't be called Lin Dong anymore. You should take your father's last name and be called Wu Dong from now on." "Great, from tomorrow on I'll be called Wu Dong." Wu Dong said this happily in front of Lin Zixin, and he felt happy inside as he looked at Lin Zixin. Just then, a figure came to Lin Zixin's room and spoke. "Saint, the son-in-law is coming soon, you should get ready." "Yeah, I understand." Lin Zixin nodded, then looked at Wu Dong and spoke softly. "Okay, get ready, your dad is coming to pick us up." Wu Dong also nodded. At this moment, both of them were unconsciously immersed in the joy of waiting for Wu Yifan to take them home. Chapter 85. Hehe, it's not that easy to trap me, Lei Jingzhan. At this time, there was a festive atmosphere in the Rao Shui Holy Land with lights and decorations. After all, as one of the four holy lands in profound heaven world, Rao Shui Holy Land naturally had countless friendly forces. Lin Shuoru also intended to use this incident to tell everyone that her Rao Shui Holy Land had joined the Wu family, so she invited many guests. What Lei Wanyun did not expect at this time was that Lei Jingzhan actually escaped from the elder's confinement and rushed to the Rao Shui Holy Land. At this moment, Lei Jingzhan looked at everything around him, his eyes filled with anger. "Don't worry, Zixin. They want to force you to marry someone you don't like. I, Lei Jingzhan, will never allow this to happen. I, Lei Jingzhan, must tell everyone that only I am worthy of you." Wu Yifan had no idea that someone had set his sights on his wife and was planning to steal her away. At this moment, he was riding 9 dragons to the holy land of Rao Shui. When the guests saw the 9 extremely domineering dragons, they all gasped. Although you can find dragons, it's not easy to find dragons in the quasi-emperor realm, especially 9 of them. With 9 quasi-emperor realm dragons, it can be seen that the Wu family's strength is probably at least at the level of a holy land. No, it is probably stronger than a holy land. After all, even the 4 holy lands do not have 9 quasi-emperor realm dragons. On the other side, after feeling the breath of 9 quasi-emperor realm dragons, Lei Jingzhan, who was hiding in the crowd, couldn't help but gasp. He was just a supreme, an ordinary supreme. Flood dragons are considered powerful among monsters, so naturally Lei Jingzhan felt a lot of pressure. But Lei Jingzhan was not discouraged. It's the dragon's business to be powerful. Wu Yifan and I are both at the top of the supreme level. He may not be my opponent in a fight. Lei Jingzhan thought to himself that he didn't know where Zixin was, so his plan was to wait for Lin Zixin to appear and then step out to fight Wu Yifan, and then defeat Wu Yifan, save the beauty, and take Lin Zixin away. He wanted to tell everyone present that only he was worthy of Lin Zixin. In addition, he believed that he could defeat Wu Yifan because he and Lin Zixin were childhood sweethearts. But Lei Jingzhan didn't know one thing, that is, since ancient times, green plums have been no match for the ones that fall from the sky. Furthermore, Lin Zixin never thought that she and Lei Jingzhan were childhood sweethearts, so Lei Jingzhan was impossible from the very beginning. On the other side, after seeing Wu Yifan coming, Lin Shuoru brought the elders of Rao Shui Holy Land to him and said with a smile, "My dear son-in-law, you are here. Zixin is already waiting for you in the bridal chamber with her child." I understand, mother-in-law. Wu Yifan smiled and nodded, then, under the guidance of the elder, he rushed towards the bridal chamber. And Lei Jingzhan followed silently. Wu Yifan felt it the moment Lei Jingzhan caught up with him, but Wu Yifan didn't take it to heart, or he didn't think Lei Jingzhan could pose a threat to him. Soon, under the guidance of the elder, Wu Yifan arrived in front of the bridal chamber. Sir, I'll leave the rest to you. I won't bother you anymore. The elder turned around and left very tactfully. Wu Yifan took a deep breath, calmed himself down, then opened the door and walked in. The moment he walked in, Wu Yifan saw Wudong rushing towards him. Daddy! Hey, be careful! Wu Yifan was shocked when he saw this scene and quickly caught Wudong. After holding Wudong in his arms, Wu Yifan walked up to Lin Zixin and stretched out his hand. Come with me. Lin Zixin hesitated for a moment, but still reached out and let Wu Yifan hold her hand. The moment Wu Yifan touched her hand, Lin Zixin could keenly notice that he trembled involuntarily, which showed that Wu Yifan was still a little nervous inside. Seeing this, Lin Zixin couldn't help but hold Wu Yifan's hand tighter. Soon, Wu Yifan took Lin Zixin's hand and came out of the bridal chamber, but just outside the bridal chamber, Wu Yifan saw Lei Jingzhan blocking his way. Who are you? Wu Yifan was a little puzzled, and looked at Lin Zixin beside him and asked curiously. Without waiting for Lin Zixin to speak, Lei Jingzhan spoke first, his tone extremely excited. Zixin, don't worry. I will never let you marry someone you don't like today. I want to prove to everyone in Profound Heaven World that only I, Lei Jingzhan, am worthy of you. Lin Zixin? Wu Yifan? But before Lin Zixin and Wu Yifan could say anything, Lei Jingzhan took the lead and attacked Wu Yifan. Seeing this, Wu Yifan no longer hesitated. When the other party came in front of him, he gave Lei Jingzhan a big fight. The young man had a good body and fell asleep immediately. Lei Jingzhan was knocked unconscious by Wu Yifan's slap. Do you know him? Wu Yifan looked at Lin Zixin and asked curiously. Lin Zixin then remembered something and said with a calm expression. I know him. He's the son of Lei Wanyun, the Holy Land Saint of Thunder. But I haven't seen him for hundreds of years. Let's go. There's no need to let irrelevant people disturb our fun today. Wu Yifan shook his head and ignored Lei Jingzhan, who was lying unconscious and seriously injured on the ground. In fact, if he didn't want Lin Zixin and his son to see his rude side, Wu Yifan would have slapped him to death long ago, and there would be no chance for him to be alive and kicking. On the other side, Lei Wanyun also received the news that Lei Jingzhan had escaped, and his face suddenly became as gloomy as coal. This rebellious son, wouldn't he come here to cause trouble? Just when Lei Wanyun was thinking about how likely this possibility was, Wu Yifan came out holding Lin Zixin's hand, and the guests around saw this scene and stood up and raised their glasses to Wu Yifan. Everyone, let us wish fellow Daoist Wu and fellow Daoist Lin a happy wedding today. Happy wedding to fellow Daoist Wu and fellow Daoist Lin. After knowing that Wu Yifan was a member of Wu's Chamber of Commerce, everyone present wanted to curry favor with Wu Yifan. Of course, the most important thing was Wu Yifan's talent. Supreme, who was less than 100 years old, knew with his brain that he was definitely worth making friends with. Wu Yifan responded with a smile, then came to Lei Wanyun and said lightly. Your son is lying in front of the wedding room now. I hope this kind of thing won't happen again. Chapter 86. After hearing Wu Yifan's words, Lei Wanyun couldn't help but swallow his saliva. He didn't know why, but at this moment he felt an extremely strong threat from Wu Yifan. This feeling told him that if he dared to attack Wu Yifan, he would be killed. Thinking of this, Lei Wanyun was shocked. Has Wu Yifan acquired such terrifying strength in less than 100 years of cultivation? But he quickly reacted and took in what Wu Yifan had just said, and quickly spoke respectfully. Master Wu, this won't happen again. After saying that, Lei Wanyun turned around and left in a hurry. Soon he arrived in front of the bridal chamber and saw Lei Jingzhan lying on the ground. At this moment, Lei Jingzhan's condition could only be described as miserable. In Lei Wanyun's perception, Lei Jingzhan's injuries were extremely terrible. If he had arrived a little later, Lei Jingzhan's life would probably have been cut short. However, Lei Wanyun did not feel any resentment towards Wu Yifan in his heart. After all, according to his understanding of his son, it was probably Lei Jingzhan who attacked Wu Yifan, which was why Wu Yifan injured Lei Jingzhan to this extent. What Lei Wanyun didn't know was that if it weren't for Lin Zixin and his son being around, Lei Jingzhan's situation probably wouldn't be so good. Thinking of this, Lei Wanyun sighed, and took Lei Jingzhan away from Rao Shui Holy Land. As for Wu Yifan, after he picked up Lin Zixin and her son, he listened to Lin Shuoru's chatter for a long time, and she told him earnestly to be nice to Lin Zixin. Only after Wu Yifan made repeated assurances were they allowed to leave. Only then did Wu Yifan successfully take Lin Zixin and his son away from Rao Shui Holy Land and rush back to the Wu family. At this time in the Wu family, Wu Hao and others were waiting for Wu Yifan to bring Lin Zixin and Wu Dong back. At this tense moment, Wu Hao felt something and suddenly disappeared on the spot. When Wu Hao appeared again, he had already arrived at the yard of his fourth grandson Wu Qinlong. At this time, Wu Qinlong was pacing anxiously in front of a room. When he looked up, he saw Wu Hao. His expression changed and he hurried over. "Hello, Grandpa. What happened?" Wu Qinlong knew that if there was nothing urgent, Wu Hao would not come here for no reason. At this time, Wu Hao's expression looked extremely solemn. He looked at the room behind Wu Qinlong and spoke slowly. "Your children are extraordinary." After hearing Wu Hao's words, Wu Qinlong took a long time to react. He looked at Wu Hao with uncontrollable excitement in his tone. "Grandpa, are you saying that my children will be as powerful as Yifan and the others?" Wu Hao nodded. In his perception, Wu Qinlong's offspring were twins, a boy and a girl, and both were destined children. The moment he sensed it, Wu Hao took action to conceal the secret. Otherwise, the horrifying vision would have been noticed by the strong men of the entire profound heaven world. After getting Wu Hao's affirmative answer, Wu Qinlong became even more excited and paced back and forth outside the room. This nervous mood dissipated when two clear baby cries were heard in the room. Soon two midwives came out, each holding a baby, and looked at Wu Qinlong with joy on their faces. "Master, it's a young master and a young lady." Okay, pass it on, there will be a reward." Wu Qinlong was extremely excited and gave orders with a wave of his hand. The midwife was naturally very excited when she heard this and thanked him repeatedly. But Wu Qinlong didn't care about all that. He quickly took the two babies from the midwife's arms and found out that the older one was a brother and the younger one was a sister. The two babies were still crying when they came out, but they stopped crying after being held by Wu Qinlong. They looked at Wu Qinlong with their big eyes, which made Wu Qinlong's inner fatherly love reach its peak at this moment. Wu Hao stood aside and watched this scene, and the information of the two babies appeared in front of him. Name, tentative gender, male identity, reincarnation of the immortal emperor talent, top grade spiritual roots constitution, pure yang holy body. Name, tentative gender, female identity, the reincarnation of the demon emperor talent, top grade spiritual roots physique, swallowed heavenly demon body. This couple seems to be a pair of happy enemies. Wu Hao looked at their messages and thought to himself. The two babies in Wu Qinlong's arms were also uneasy. What? I am not dead? What's going on? I am reincarnated? I don't know what happened to the demon emperor. When I reach the peak again, I will make him pay the price. My brother looked at the scene in front of him and quickly figured out what was going on. He is an immortal emperor in the upper realm, named Chen Chuiyang. As the youngest immortal emperor in the entire upper realm, Chen Chuiyang spent only 3 million years to cultivate to the immortal emperor. He is hailed as the genius in the entire upper realm who is most likely to break through to the immortal emperor. But the good times didn't last long. He was soon targeted by a demon emperor despite his extraordinary talent. In the end, he had no choice but to self-destruct and die together with the opponent. I just don't know what the opponent's situation is now. But I don't think it will be much better. Next to him, Emperor Tun Heavenly Demon was also extremely shocked. What's going on? I've been reincarnated? That damn Chu Yang Immortal Emperor attacked me for no reason, and I just fought back, but he blew himself up and took me away. From the perspective of Swallow Heavenly Demon Emperor, he just met Chu Yang Immortal Emperor by chance outside, and then Chu Yang Immortal Emperor attacked him without saying a word. However, Swallow Heavenly Demon Emperor had been in the Immortal Emperor realm for a long time, so naturally he was no match for Chu Yang Immortal Emperor who had just broken through to the Immortal Emperor realm. But no one expected that Chu Yang Immortal Emperor would get so angry that he would self-destruct. Everyone was in the early stage of Immortal Emperor, so naturally they couldn't stop the Heavenly Demon Emperor, and were directly taken away by the self-explosion of Chu Yang Immortal Emperor. Forget it. Since I'm here, I might as well make the best of it. Besides, the heavenly demon body has returned with me, which means I'll have a brand new opportunity to reach a higher peak this time. Forget it, let's make the best of it. The pure yang holy body has also returned with me. In my previous life, I broke through too quickly, resulting in a poor foundation. Otherwise, the Demon Emperor would not be my opponent. Wait, I will definitely break through to the Immortal Emperor and fight back. At this moment, Chu Yang Immortal Emperor and Tun Heavenly Demon Emperor were thinking in their hearts, but the next second, Wu Qinlong spoke, looked at Wu Hao and asked very seriously. Grandpa, please give names to my 2 children. Chapter 87. Looking at the 2 babies in Wu Qinlong's arms, Wu Hao pondered for a moment before speaking. In that case, then my brother will be called Wu Xianyi, and my sister will be called Wu Mohu. Upon hearing the names Wu Hao gave them, Chu Yang Immortal Emperor and Tun Heavenly Demon Emperor complained in their hearts, what kind of names are these? But because they are all babies, even if they were Immortal Emperor level strong men before reincarnation, now they can only start from scratch. So even if they are extremely dissatisfied in their hearts, they can only make a few babbling sounds. However, in Wu Qinlong's opinion, the 2 children were very satisfied with the names Wu Hao had given them, and were waving their arms and legs excitedly. Grandpa, they are very satisfied with the name you gave them. Wu Hao also nodded. Although Chu Yang Immortal Emperor and Heavenly Demon Emperor were very terrifying before their reincarnation, so what? Now that they have become his grandchildren, they are destined to be suppressed by him and unable to raise their heads. Immortal Emperor, I'm really looking forward to it. A hint of anticipation appeared in Wu Hao's eyes. Seeing that their protest was ineffective, Chu Yang Immortal Emperor and Tun Heavenly Demon Emperor in Wu Qinlong's arms could only accept the name helplessly. But soon Wu Mohu thought of something and felt something was wrong. As the Heavenly Demon Emperor, she is superior to everyone else no matter where she is. Even if she is reincarnated, she can't be someone else's sister. She wants to be a big sister. However, it was obvious that her protest had no effect at all. Instead, Wu Qinlong mistakenly believed that she was hungry, so he asked Wu Hao for leave and went downstairs to feed the 2 children with animal milk. In the current Wu family, there is a female demon beast whose cultivation has reached the quasi-emperor realm. She produces beast milk specifically for the Wu family's newborn babies in order to consolidate their talents and make them stronger. Compared to Wu Mohu's words, Wu Xian chose to accept this setting. In my previous life, I was able to ascend to the throne of Immortal Emperor alone. With the help of my family in this life, I may be able to ascend to the throne of Immortal Emperor. As for my sister, I am looking forward to it. Wu Xianyi thought to herself, and then she was caught by Wu Qinlong and fed. After Wu Qinlong left, Wu Hao looked not far away and saw Wu Yifan taking Lin Zixin and Wu Dong back to the Wu family. In an instant, Wu Hao returned to the clan hall. Seeing Wu Hao disappear and reappear, So Kioran asked with some confusion. My lord, what happened? It's nothing. It's just that the 2 offspring of Qinlong have some good talents. I just went to take a look. Wu Hao explained, and So Kioran immediately understood. As for the 2 offspring of Qinlong who could make her husband care about them, they must be very talented and could at least break through to the great emperor. This little episode did not affect what happened later. After Wu Yifan brought Lin Zixin and others back, Wu Qunkan and others looked at Lin Zixin and Wu Dong with eyes full of love, but looked at Wu Yifan with eyes full of blame. After all, if it weren't for Wu Yifan, Lin Zixin wouldn't have suffered 5 years in vain. Girl, thank you for your hard work over the years. Bai Yuyo came to Lin Zixin and held her hand, with a look of self-blame on her face. Lin Zixin was also shocked by Bai Yuyo's enthusiasm, but she quickly reacted, shook her head and said. Mother-in-law, it's okay. I do all this willingly. Look, what a good girl you are. If Yifan dares to bully you, just tell me and I will teach Yifan a lesson. Bai Yuyo felt even more distressed after hearing Lin Zixin's words, and looked at Wu Yifan with a look full of blame. Wu Yifan touched his nose a little embarrassedly, but soon looked at everyone present and said seriously. Everyone, I, Wu Yifan, swear here today that I will never let Lin Zixin down in this life. If I break my promise, I will let all my cultivation disappear. Hearing Wu Yifan's words, everyone was shocked. It was obvious that they did not expect Wu Yifan to be able to do this. They were all moved for a moment. Lin Zixin was deeply moved when she heard this, and the look in her eyes when she looked at Wu Yifan changed a little. Dad, Mom, what's wrong with you? At this moment, Wu Dong looked at Wu Yifan and Lin Zixin, holding their hands and speaking innocently. Lin Zixin looked at Wu Dong with a smile on her face. It's okay, I just thought of something happy. Mom and Dad, Be happy. If you are unhappy, I will be unhappy too. Wu Dong's childish face expressed extremely serious words, causing Lin Zixin and Wu Yifan to nod in agreement. Okay, as the ancestor of the Wu family, I declare that you are officially married from today on. Are you willing? At this moment, Wu Hao stood up and spoke to Wu Yifan and Lin Zixin very seriously. At this moment, Wu Hao seemed to be carrying a majestic power, which made people believe his words. Wu Yifan and Lin Zixin looked at each other, and both saw some emotion in each other's eyes. Maybe there was love between them, but it was far from the point of getting married. But for the sake of their children, they are willing to try. Thinking of this, Wu Yifan and Lin Zixin said in unison. I do. At this point, Wu Yifan and Lin Zixin officially became husband and wife. The matter ended here, and after this incident, Wu Hao began to look for suitable exercises for Wu Dong, Wu Xianyi and Wu Mo to practice. Wu Dong's physique is the innate Dao fetus holy body, Wu Xianyi's is the pure Yang holy body, and Wu Mo's is the heavenly demon body. There may not be any suitable skills for them in the profound heaven world. I'm afraid we have to go to the upper realms to find them. It is better to wait until we break through to the golden immortal before going to the upper realms to look for them. Before heading to the upper realm, we must wait until Wu Mendi brings 99 servants to be trained to become great emperors, and then stay in the dark to protect the Wu family. After searching for a while and failing to find a suitable technique for the three of them to practice, Wu Hao gave up the search. It happened that after he broke through to the golden immortal, he would also go to the upper realm to make arrangements, so he decided to wait until he reached the golden immortal before looking for another technique. Wu Hao did not have to wait too long. A year later, Wu Mendi came to Wu Hao with 99 subordinates. Master, these 99 mortals were carefully selected by me and are absolutely loyal to you. Wu Mendi looked at Wu Hao and said seriously, and Wu Hao looked at the 99 mortals standing behind Wu Mendi, both men and women, but without exception, their eyes were full of loyalty when they looked at Wu Hao. Wu Hao didn't know how Wu Tude made them loyal to him, nor did he want to know. He only knew that Wu Mendi could control them. 88. Wu Hao slowly stood up and came in front of them. The 99 mortals behind Wu Mendi also looked at Wu Hao, their eyes full of awe and loyalty. Wu Hao didn't care about all that, but spoke lightly. From now on, your lives will not belong to you, but to me and the Wu family. If anything happens to the Wu family, you can commit suicide. And I need you to be ready to sacrifice yourself for the Wu family at any time. Are you willing? If you don't want to, you can leave here. The voice was not loud, but one could tell that he was non-committal. And those 99 mortals shouted without hesitation. Master, from now on we are the Wu family's slaves. If anything happens to the Wu family, they will have to step on us first. Okay, since you have all made up your mind, then this Blood Emperor pill can help you become the great emperor in a short period of time. Moreover, since you have become the guards of the Wu family, I promise you that becoming the great emperor is definitely not your final destination. One day, when our Wu family reaches the top of the immortal world, all of you can become immortals. Wu Hao was full of ambition, and his aura could not help but influence the 99 slaves below, making them look at Wu Hao with even more fanatical eyes. Soon Wu Hao took out 99 Blood Emperor pills and handed them to Wu Mendi. From now on, you will obey her orders. You must do whatever she tells you to do. Yes, Master. As the 99 guards shouted, Wu Hao also handed 99 Blood Emperor pills to Wu Mendi and said with a serious expression. From today on, you will be the leader of my Wu family's guard group. Can you protect my Wu family? Master, if the Wu family is in trouble, I am willing to pay the price of my life to ensure their safety. Wu Mendi knelt on her knees and agreed with a very serious look in her eyes. Hearing this, Wu Hao nodded, then looked at Wu Mendi and said. Okay, I'll leave the matter to you. You decide the tasks for these 99 guards, but the premise is that they must not be exposed to the public. Except for me and Chia Ran, there is no need for others in the Wu family to know about your existence. Do you understand? Yes, Master. Soon, Wu Hao left after explaining everything, and Wu Mendi murmured to herself as she looked at Wu Hao leaving. Master, I will never let you down, absolutely not. Wu Hao had no idea of what Wu Mendi was thinking. After explaining everything, he returned to So Kyoran and told her about the great Emperor's guard. So Kyoran nodded, but then thought of something and looked at Wu Hao with a strange expression. After hesitating for a long time, she decided to speak. Husband, are you really only over 100 years old? Well, what's wrong? Wu Hao nodded, somewhat puzzled. Nothing, it's just that I feel I'm not worthy of you. I'm over 100 years old, but I'm only a mid-stage Saint King. When she said this, So Kyoran felt a little inferior. She was already very proud of being a middle-stage Saint King at over 100 years old, but after learning that her husband was already a great emperor at over 100 years old, her self-esteem was completely shattered. Feeling the inferiority of his wife in his arms, Wu Hao hugged her directly and comforted her softly. Who said you are not worthy of me? There is no one in the entire profound heaven world who is more worthy of me than you. Love has never been based on the realm of both parties. If it only depends on the realm, then the strong and the weak are not worthy of being together. So don't think too much. You are the only one I love in this life. Hearing Wu Hao's words, So Kyoran felt sweet inside and nodded. But at this moment, Wu Hao felt something, said something to So Kyoran and went out directly, leaving So Kyoran a little confused. But it was only a few minutes before Wu Hao came back. My lord, what happened? Nothing, I just had a small breakthrough. Wu Hao said this in a very calm tone, which made So Kyoran's confidence, which she had finally recovered, hit her hard again. She decided to practice hard and reach the supreme, no, the great emperor, as soon as possible. At this time, Wu Hao had already broken through to the realm of Golden Immortal. After all, the Wu family now has not only Wu Yifan, Wu Yida and Wu Li, the three sons of destiny, who give Wu Hao feedback, but also Wu Rolong and others. Although it was not as much as Wu Yifan and other sons of destiny, every little bit counts. Under such circumstances, Wu Hao finally broke through to the realm of Golden Immortal and officially achieved immortality. Deluo Golden Immortal is indeed extremely powerful. I now feel that I can easily destroy the entire profound heaven world with one strike. However, there seems to be something strange in the profound heaven world. When he was still a Golden Immortal, Wu Hao did not notice anything wrong, but after breaking through to the Golden Immortal, he vaguely felt that there were some strange things in the profound heaven world. However, Wu Hao thought about it and found it normal. After all, under normal circumstances, there would only be one child of destiny in a place, and now there are 5 children of destiny in the Wu family. No one would believe that profound heaven world is an ordinary world. But those strange places are not making any movement right now. I guess we have to wait until Yifan and the others come to deal with them. As an old ancestor, I don't need to worry so much. I'll come out to cover for them when they can't hold on any longer. Shaking his head, Wu Hao no longer took it to heart. Erasing the things that the child of destiny needed to experience would only hinder the growth of the child of destiny. It would be better to be a backer behind him and come out when he really couldn't hold on any longer. But now that they have broken through to the Golden Immortal, it is time to go to the upper realm. The skills of Wu Xianyi and Wu Moho can wait for a while. After all, they were both born not long ago and need to nurture their bodies before they can practice until they are 8 years old. But Wu Dong will start practicing in 3 years, so Wu Dong's practice method needs to be arranged as soon as possible. The practice method of innate Dao fetus holy body cannot be chosen casually. Although the innate Dao fetus holy body is strong and can break through at a very fast speed by practicing any practice method, it is natural to find the practice method that best suits the physique. Thinking of this, Wu Hao looked at So Kyoran and said softly, "Wife, I may have to leave the Wu family for a while." Chapter 89. Where are you going? Hearing that Wu Hao was going to be away for a while, So Kyoran was no longer sleepy. She climbed out of Wu Hao's arms with a worried look on her face. After all, based on her understanding of Wu Hao, if he could take her with him, he probably wouldn't have spoken in that tone. Wu Hao gently stroked So Kyoran's hair and said, "It's okay. I just need to find the skills of Wudong, Xianni and Mo Wu, so it will take some time to find them. Don't worry, it won't take more than 4 years. I promise to come back and go to the Four Saints competition with you then." After Wu Hao's repeated assurances, So Kyoran agreed even though she was still worried. You must pay attention to safety. No matter what the situation is, you must put your own safety first. Do you understand? Yeah, I understand. Wu Hao nodded and took So Kyoran's instructions to heart. Then, he disappeared from So Kyoran's sight. When Wu Hao appeared again, he had already come to the side of Wu Mendi and others. Owner. Seeing Wu Hao appear, Wu Mendi quickly knelt on one knee, and the other 99 guards did the same. Wu Hao nodded, and in less than 3 days, the 99 guards swallowed the Blood Emperor pill and became a genuine great emperor. I need to leave profound heaven world for a while. Protect the Wu family during this time. If anything happens to the Wu family, you should know what to do. Wu Hao directly stated the purpose of his visit. Hearing this, Wu Mendi said with a serious face. Master, rest assured, if anything happens to the Wu family, I will commit suicide. After finishing his instructions, Wu Hao left several restrictions in the Wu family. Even if a golden immortal strongman came, he would not be able to do anything to the Wu family. After doing everything, Wu Hao felt it carefully, and the next second he tore the space in front of him into pieces, and then disappeared directly into the profound heaven world. By the time Wu Hao appeared at the other end of the space crack, he had already arrived in the upper realm. Is this the upper realm? Wu Hao felt it for a while, and when he came to the upper realm, he felt a kind of energy that the profound heaven world did not have, called fairy energy. Moreover, the concentration of spiritual energy in the upper realm is much higher than that in the profound heaven world. No wonder it is not difficult to break through to the great emperor as long as you are born in the upper realm. It can even be said that in the upper realm, the great emperor is just the beginning. Okay, let's first look for some nearby sects and get some information about the upper world. The consciousness of Deluo Golden Immortal instantly spread from Wu Hao's body to the surroundings, directly covering an area of about tens of thousands of profound heaven worlds, and quickly found a more suitable sect. Thinking of this, Wu Hao took a step forward and arrived in front of the sect in just a few breaths. Kiliang Zong. Feeling that the strongest man in the Kiliang sect in front of him was just a strong man in the early stage of Golden Immortal, Wu Hao took a step forward. At the same time, inside the Kiliang sect, an elder whose cultivation level was at the true immortal late stage was standing in front of the sect master. Master, only 300 cultivators have ascended from the lower realm controlled by our Kiliang sect in the past 100 years. The number of immortal crystals mined from the immortal mine has been greatly reduced. If this continues, I'm afraid it will affect the development of our Kiliang sect. Hearing this, the leader of the Kiliang sect couldn't help but frown. It was no secret in the upper realm that the forces from the upper realm would wait near the ascension points of the lower realm to capture the red dust immortals who ascended from the lower realm to mine. Perhaps everyone did this, so it didn't feel strange. After all, the mining of immortal mines is not even possible for those with low cultivation levels, so the mortal immortals who ascended from the lower realms can be captured to mine. Of course, they would not exploit them to death. They would only let them dig in the immortal mines of Kiliang sect for 100,000 years and then leave. For the red dust immortals, 100,000 years was only equivalent to 5 years for ordinary people. Therefore, in order to survive from the hands of Qiliang Zong, they had no choice but to agree no matter how angry they were. Since there are few monks ascending from the lower realm, then we should recruit monks. 1 day of mining can yield 1 top-grade spirit stone, and the cultivation level can reach supreme to quasi-emperor. With a sigh, the leader of the Kiliang sect could only give the order. The elder agreed after hearing this and went down. Shortly after the elder left, Wu Hao, whose aura had completely disappeared, appeared in the room of the leader of the Kiliang sect. Who is it? The moment the leader of the Kiliang sect raised his head, he saw Wu Hao not far away, and was immediately shocked. I didn't expect that a golden immortal like me could be approached so closely without even realizing it. What level of cultivation does Wu Hao in front of me have? But at this moment, Wu Hao was surprised. He didn't expect that the forces from the upper realm would really lurk near the ascension point to capture the ascending monks to mine. But this had little to do with him. When he came up, he noticed that there was no one squatting near the ascension point of profound heaven world. After all, the great imperial law of profound heaven world was completely gone, and no one had ascended for countless years. The upper world forces would naturally think that profound heaven world had declined, so they did not send anyone to squat at the ascension point of profound heaven world. Shaking his head, Wu Hao did not continue to ask about this matter. Instead, he looked at the leader of the Kiliang sect and said in a hoarse voice, I am here to ask you something. You just need to cooperate. I will not make things difficult for you. Senior, please speak. Upon hearing this, the leader of the Kiliang sect nodded and asked quickly. Even a fool could see that he was definitely no match for Wu Hao, so he might as well cooperate obediently and maybe he could survive. I want to know the situation in the upper realm, and where in the upper realm I can get the innate Deo Fetus holy body, the pure Yang holy body, and the special training methods for swallowing the heavenly demon body. Wu Hao said hoarsely. Upon hearing this, Qiliang Zong just pondered for a moment, and then told him the current situation of the upper realm without hesitation. Of course, with the strength of Kiliang's own, he didn't know too many useful things. From him, Wu Hao also learned that the current upper realm is similar to profound heaven world and is also divided into 5 domains. These 5 domains are all controlled by a holy land, namely the 5 elements Holy Land, Chaos Holy Land, Time and Space Holy Land, Ancient Holy Land and Anti-God Holy Land. The masters of these 5 holy lands are all immortal emperor late-stage masters. When talking about these 5 holy places, the eyes of the leader of the Kiliang sect were filled with yearning. The founders of these 5 holy places are all powerful people at the peak of the immortal emperor realm, but it is a pity that they all disappeared due to some things. So there are no immortal emperor peak powerhouses in the upper realm right now. The most powerful ones are the 5 great saints, all of whom are immortal emperor late-stage powerhouses. When talking about the latter part, the leader of the Kiliang sect couldn't help but feel a little lost. Although this had little to do with him, he was still very happy to see that there was an immortal emperor in the upper realm. Upon hearing this, Wu Hao's expression also became solemn. If he faced the immortal emperor with his current strength, he would be killed. Even with the blessing of the heavenly emperor's 10,000 Dao Sutra, he would not be able to cross the gap between them. After all, he is still 4 levels away from immortal emperor, namely Immortal King, Immortal Sovereign and Immortal Venerable. No matter how powerful his skills are, he cannot reach that level. Especially now that he has reached the late stage, the gap in combat power is difficult to bridge with advanced skills. Therefore, even though Wu Hao is only in the early stage of Golden Immortal, if they fight, he can only barely beat the Immortal King. Chapter 90. Later, Wu Hao gradually learned from the leader of the Kiliang sect that there are about 100 immortal emperors in the upper realm, and he became more determined to keep a low profile. With my current strength, I still need to keep a low profile. At least I need to wait until I become the immortal emperor so that the Wu family can be more high profile in the upper realm. No, the immortal emperor is not enough to handle everything. I should cultivate to a level above the immortal emperor first. Wu Hao thought to himself, I don't know whether it's because he hasn't cultivated to the immortal emperor yet or because of force majeure. Author, Wu Hao still doesn't know what the realm above the immortal emperor is. After answering the general situation of the upper realm, the leader of the Kiliang sect looked at Wu Hao and said seriously, Senior, if you want to obtain the most suitable cultivation method for the innate Dao fetus holy body, the pure Yang holy body, and the heavenly demon body, then my suggestion is that you can go to the Rufeng Pavilion to buy it. As long as the price you give is enough, they can get you anything. After learning the name of Rufeng Pavilion from the leader of Kiliang sect, Wu Hao couldn't help but frown. Is this a coincidence? There is also a Rufeng Pavilion in the central region. It's just that Wu Hao had gone to the Rufeng Pavilion of Profound Heaven World to inquire before. It's a pity that the Rufeng Pavilion of Profound Heaven World doesn't have any cultivation methods for the innate Dao fetus holy body, the pure Yang holy body, and the heavenly demon body. Yeah, I understand. Wu Hao nodded and spoke slowly. He is currently in the southern domain of the upper realm, and the Rufeng Pavilion of the upper realm is also in the central domain. However, with his current cultivation level, if he were to go to the Rufeng Pavilion in the central domain, he would definitely not have enough time. Perhaps I can deduce a suitable technique based on the innate Dao fetus holy body, the pure Yang holy body, and the heavenly demon body, and then synthesize them directly. It may be better than the technique obtained from Rufeng Pavilion. Wu Hao thought to himself that with his current strength of Golden Immortal, it would not be difficult for him to deduce a technique that could be practiced to the level of Golden Immortal, and after synthesis, he might be able to practice to the level of Immortal Emperor. Of course, the most important thing is that with Wu Hao's stable character, he would never reveal the existence of Wudong and others before he is absolutely sure. Even in the vast upper realm, the physiques of the 3 of them are extremely rare. Even if he was discovered by the 5 holy lands, he would definitely be taken in as a valuable commodity. Wu Hao did not want to confront the 5 holy lands before he had the strength to rival them. Senior, I have told you everything I know, is that right? The leader of the Kiliang sect spoke cautiously at this time, and Wu Hao remembered the other party's existence. After thinking for a while, Wu Hao looked at the leader of Kiliang sect and spoke again. I will ask you one more question. If you answer correctly, I will let you go. Please speak, Senior. The leader of the Kiliang sect spoke quickly. Very good, my question is, what is 1 plus 1 equal to? 2. The leader of the Kiliang sect gave the answer without hesitation. Upon hearing this, Wu Hao's expression suddenly changed, and he looked at the leader of the Qiliang sect with murderous intent. "I'm sorry, you know too much." Immediately, without waiting for the leader of the Qiliang sect to react, Wu Hao swung his sword and directly killed the leader of the Qiliang sect without any sound leaking out. The leader of the Qiliang sect never realized until his death that Wu Hao's action could be so clean and efficient, and he also created a strange problem. But what he didn't expect was that Wu Hao had no intention of letting the leader of the Qiliang sect live from the very beginning. What if after he left, the leader of the Qiliang sect told others that he had been there and was looking for the 3 major physical fitness cultivation techniques? Even if one of these 3 physical conditions is picked out, the 5 holy places will be moved, let alone having all 3. Although the possibility may be small, Wu Hao will not let this happen, not even a little bit. After killing the leader of the Qiliang sect, Wu Hao collected the leader's storage bag, then looked around the Qiliang sect, wondering whether he should just destroy the Qiliang sect directly. After thinking about it, Wu Hao made up his mind. "I did it. The Qiliang sect actually captured the red dust immortals who ascended from the lower realm to mine. I destroyed the Qiliang sect and it can be regarded as a good deed for the cultivators in the lower realm." Wu Hao swore that he definitely did not want the storage rings of those powerful people in the upper realm, nor was he coveting the middle-grade immortal mine of Qiliang sect. He simply couldn't stand what the Qiliang sect was doing and wanted to enforce justice. As for their storage rings, they were his spoils of war. Was there anything wrong with him taking them? Thinking of this, Wu Hao began to act. Driven by his golden immortal level cultivation, Wu Hao quickly wandered around the Qiliang sect and set up a formation. Wu Hao never lets any news get out when he does something, unless his cultivation has reached the level of being invincible in the world. So even if he wants to destroy the entire Qiliang sect, Wu Hao will make all the necessary arrangements and will never let a single fish in the Qiliang sect slip through the net. Just after Wu Hao activated the formation, the entire Qiliang sect was instantly enveloped by several invisible beams of light. The true immortal elders in the Qiliang sect also felt this aura at this moment, and their faces changed. However, Wu Hao was a ruthless man who didn't say much. He directly activated the magic sword, and in an instant the magic sword moved in the Qiliang sect at a terrifying speed. Wherever the magic sword reached, the strong men of the Qiliang sect were killed one after another. Even Wu Hao, a disciple of Qiliang sect, did not show mercy. After they joined Qiliang sect, they were in cahoots with Qiliang sect and did not deserve sympathy at all. Soon, Wu Hao killed all the people in the Qiliang sect, even the dogs were not spared. The earthworms were chopped into 7 or 8 pieces and the egg yolks were shaken apart. After doing all this, Wu Hao nodded with satisfaction. Then, under the control of his mind, the storage rings of all the people in the Qiliang sect, which belonged to him, flew into Wu Hao's palm and were collected by Wu Hao into his inner world. At this moment, the monks from the lower realm who were captured by the Qiliang sect obviously didn't know what had happened. They thought that the Qiliang sect had offended some powerful person and was destroyed. They were even trembling with fear because they were worried that it would bring disaster to them. But Wu Hao didn't pay attention to them, but looked at the middle-grade fairy mine behind them. The mine that produces spirit stones is called a spirit mine, and the mine that produces immortal crystal is called a fairy mine. Although the spirit mine and the fairy mine can be taken away directly, doing so will affect the subsequent output, so no one will choose to take the spirit mine and the fairy mine directly unless absolutely necessary. But now Wu Hao has no other choice. He cannot choose to stay in Qiliang sect, so taking the fairy mine is obviously the best choice. Rise! As Wu Hao finished speaking, a violent tremor was felt in the Qiliang sect, and the fairy mine, which stretched for several kilometers, rose from the ground under Wu Hao's control. Chapter 91. What on earth happened? There is not a single survivor in the huge Qiliang sect, and even the middle-grade immortal mine of the Qiliang sect has been taken away. Hiss, the leader of Qiliang sect is a powerful person in golden immortal realm, but even so, not a single breath is leaking out. Could it be that the one who made the move is a disloyal golden immortal? I don't know how the Qiliang sect provoked such a powerful person, but ended up being wiped out. About half a month after Wu Hao destroyed the Qiliang sect, some forces that had good relations with the Qiliang sect noticed that something was wrong with the Qiliang sect, because the spies they left in the Qiliang sect had not contacted them for a long time. When they arrived at Qiliang sect, they were shocked to see that it was completely destroyed. There was not a single trace of living creature in Qiliang sect. The weirdness revealed everywhere was enough to explain what had happened in Qiliang sect at that time. So should we tell others about the extermination of the Qiliang sect? The one who arrived at the ruins of the Qiliang sect was Qing Feng, the leader of a nearby sect called the Demon Knife sect, which had a good relationship with the Qiliang sect. Qing Feng looked at the others with an indifferent tone. There were 5 golden immortal masters present, including Qing Feng. However, when the matter was mentioned, they all had evasive expressions and shook their heads after a long time. Forget it. This matter may involve a low golden immortal. I, the Fu Ri Zone, will not get involved in this matter. It's the same for me. If Golden Immortal wants to take revenge, we can't stop him with the combined power of the 5 major sections. If that's the case, then let's assume that the Qiliang sect encountered unspeakable horrors and we know nothing about it. We are just passing by here. Soon, the 5 major sects discussed everything, pretended nothing had happened, and left. As for Wu Hao, he didn't know about this scene. Before leaving Qiliang sect, he deliberately concealed his aura. As for Tianji, Wu Hao himself did not belong to this world. In addition, with the existence of the system, even if the Immortal Emperor took action, it would be impossible to calculate Wu Hao's origins. So if someone wanted to stand up for Qiliang Zong, there was nothing they could do. As for the Red Dust Immortals who were captured by the Qiliang sect, they were mercifully released by Wu Hao. Of course, before letting them go, he asked them to swear an oath to the Heavenly Dao, telling them not to reveal their existence, otherwise Wu Hao would never let them leave. Wu Hao swore that he didn't let them leave because they were so poor that he had nothing to exploit Wu Hao. It was definitely not the case. Let's go back first. We can calculate the skills after we return to the Wu family. We still have 4 years anyway. Wu Hao thought to himself that at this moment he was standing in the upper realm of profound heaven world. Wu Hao gently stretched out his hands and made a slight force. A space crack appeared in front of him. Of course, it was the space crack from the upper realm to the lower realm. Given the toughness of the upper realm, unless one's cultivation reaches immortal venerable, it is impossible to tear the upper realm apart. Wu Hao didn't think too much. He took a step and disappeared into the upper realm. When he appeared again, he had returned to the profound heaven world. Although less than 2 months had passed, Wu Hao felt extremely melancholy, as if he had been away from home for a long time. When Wu Hao returned to the Wu family, So Kioran couldn't help but be delighted to see him back. "Husband, you are back. Well, there are some problems with the technique. I guess I'll have to do it myself." Wu Hao nodded. He had nothing to hide from So Kioran. Hearing this, So Kioran showed a worried expression on her face, and then said with concern, "Don't push yourself too hard, just do your best." "Yes, I will." Wu Hao forced a smile, then explained something to So Kioran and turned inside to prepare to deduce the cultivation methods for the innate Dao fetus holy body, the pure Yang holy body, and the heavenly demon body. Looking at Wu Hao's leaving back, So Kioran's eyes were full of heartache, but she was powerless and could only turn around and practice hard, hoping to give Wu Hao the help he needed when he needed her. As for Wu Hao, after entering the cave mansion, he began to deduce the cultivation methods of innate Dao fetus holy body, pure Yang holy body and swallowing heavenly demon body. Just as Wu Hao began to deduce, the system's voice rang out at the right time. "Ding, it is detected that the host has the need to deduce the skills, and the skill deduction function has been turned on. It has been detected that the host's deduced technique is the innate Dao fetus holy body, the pure Yang holy body, which is required to swallow the heavenly demon body. The host has been provided with assistance. Please check it." When Wu Hao heard the system's words, his eyes lit up. He never expected that the system would actually jump out. He thought the system would simply give feedback. After seeing the functions provided by the system, Wu Hao also understood the general meaning, that is, the system he deduced could serve as a platform to help him find the right practice method for his special physique. The higher the degree of compatibility, the faster the practice will be. If they are combined again, they will definitely be better than the original practice for special physiques. Thinking of this, Wu Hao suddenly became excited, and he worked day and night in the cave mansion to deduce the skills that Wu Dong and the other two needed. Outside, Wu Xianyi and Wu Mohu also showed talents far beyond their peers. They could speak at 1 month old, run at 2 months old, and could handle most things on their own at 3 months old. Of course, I don't know if it was due to force majeure, author, or the training environment. Wu Xianyi and Wu Mohu did not start training directly, but waited until they were 8 years old to start training. But I don't know if it's because they are both destined to be together, so they are particularly competitive in their daily lives, and they have to compete with each other no matter what they do. But Wu Moa was defeated by Wu Xianyi every time, because Wu Xianyi used his status as his brother to suppress him. In addition, Wu Xianyi's talent was indeed top-notch, otherwise he would not have become the immortal emperor in just 3 million years. Even the heavenly demon emperor took nearly 5 million years to cultivate to the immortal emperor. But in this life, both of them have enough confidence. With the experience of their previous lives, they will soon break through to the immortal emperor in this life. As for Wu Yifan, it was because his ancient saint body had advanced to the 9th level, and he and Lin Zixin had just gotten married, so he had the rare opportunity to stay in the Wu family for a while. However, according to Wu Yifan's estimation, after the Four Saints competition was over, he would need to leave the Wu family and find a way to break through to the Great Emperor. Today, Wu Yifan's physical body is only comparable to that of the Great Emperor, but his realm has not yet reached that of the Great Emperor, so he needs to find ways to break through to the Great Emperor. Moreover, there is a blood soul sect in the dark who is ready to make a move, and he cannot afford to indulge in happiness for too long. It was also in this silent happiness that the time for the Four Saints competition was getting closer and closer, and the profound heaven world, which had been silent for a long time, began to become lively again. Chapter 92. Ha ha ha, I did it, I finally did it. 1 month before the Four Saints competition, which was also the day when Wu Dong was about to start his training, Wu Hao finally deduced a method that was most suitable for the innate Dao fetus holy body after crazy deductions. Great Dao Sutra, the degree of compatibility with the innate Dao fetus holy body has reached 100%. Looking at the Great Dao Sutra that he had deduced in the system space, Wu Hao showed a satisfied expression. Later, he would send the Great Dao Sutra into the current martial arts pavilion of the Wu family, and Wu Hao would be able to get feedback on the martial arts. After the synthesis, he would definitely get a martial arts book that was more terrifying than the Great Dao Sutra. After taking a look at the pure Yang holy body and the heavenly demon body swallowing technique, Wu Hao deduced that the degree of compatibility reached 70%. He shook his head. Cultivation requires appropriateness, and the same goes for deducing techniques. It cannot be rushed. It's almost time. Let's go out first. I promised to accompany my wife to participate in the Four Saints competition. Thinking of this, Wu Hao took a step and left the cave mansion directly and came to the Wu family's martial arts pavilion. The disciple of the Wu family who guards the Kung Fu pavilion is named Wu Zhiqiang. His cultivation is at the refining void realm, and his talent is high-grade spiritual roots. The matter regarding the Kung Fu pavilion was opened after discussion between Wu Hao and Wu Rolong. After all, the Wu family will gradually grow stronger, and there will be more and more members in the family. The existence of the Kung Fu pavilion can help the members of the family find the Kung Fu they want to practice. After seeing Wu Hao appear, Wu Zhiqiang was so surprised that he stood up quickly. Meet the ancestor. Well, let's record this technique into the Wu family's technique pavilion. Wu Hao calmly handed the Great Dao scripture to Wu Zhiqiang. Although it was called the Gongfa Pavilion, it was actually similar to an e-book. One only needed to enter the Gongfa Pavilion and enter the name to find it. Wu Zhiqiang nodded and took the Great Dao Sutra from Wu Hao's hand and recorded it into the Wu family's martial arts pavilion. Ding! The host has sent out the Great Dao Sutra, and 1,000 copies of the Great Dao Sutra have been obtained. Do you want to synthesize them? Synthesis. Ding! Synthesis successful. Congratulations to the host for obtaining the Yuanxi Sutra. Yuanxi Sutra, what? There is a method that is more compatible with the innate Dao fetus holy body than the Great Dao Sutra? The degree of compatibility reaches 200%. Seeing the Yuanxi Sutra synthesized by the system, Wu Hao showed a satisfied expression, then looked at Wu Zhiqiang and spoke. Record this technique as well. After that, he handed the Yuanxi Sutra to Wu Zhiqiang and left, leaving Wu Zhiqiang alone with a confused expression. Why did the ancestor give him the skills in 2 installments? But this is not something he should consider. The ancestor must have his own reasons for doing this, and he just needs to do as he is told. After leaving the Kung Fu pavilion, Wu Hao went straight to Wu Yifan's home. At this time, Wu Yifan was planning to guide his son in his practice. After seeing Wu Hao coming, he stopped and looked at Wu Hao with respect. Grandpa, what's wrong with you? I have deduced a technique suitable for Wu Dong to practice, so I sent it to him. Wu Hao waved his hand and handed the Yuanxi Sutra to Wu Yifan. After hearing Wu Hao's words, Wu Yifan's eyes lit up. In fact, he also felt a headache about his son's cultivation. After knowing that his son was an innate Dao fetus, Wu Yifan also searched in profound heaven world for a suitable method for practicing the innate Dao fetus. Unfortunately, although he could practice it, he could not bring out the true strength of the innate Dao fetus. It was also because of time constraints that Wu Yifan could only find a better one from a bunch of bad ones and let Wu Dong practice it first, and then replace it when he found a suitable one later. But now that Wu Hao has brought a technique suitable for his son to practice, Wu Yifan naturally won't be picky. Moreover, even if his strength now rivals that of the great emperor, he still can't tell how strong Wu Hao is when he stands in front of Wu Hao. However, there was a voice in his heart that kept reminding Wu Yifan that if he dared to do it, he would be killed. Donger, why don't you thank Grandpa Gao quickly? Lin Zixin, who was standing by, also stood up and spoke to Wu Dong. Wu Dong also looked at Wu Hao and said sweetly, "Thank you, Grandpa Gao. Okay, practice hard and become stronger as soon as possible. This will be the best reward for Grandpa Gao." Wu Hao reached out and touched Wu Dong's little head, then spoke to Wu Yifan and reminded him to remember to participate in the Four Saints competition in 7 days, and then he was about to turn around and leave. But at this moment, Lin Zixin spoke, her tone somewhat hesitant. "Grandfather, can I go back to Rao Shui Holy Land and represent Rao Shui Holy Land in the Four Saints competition?" But he soon thought of something and spoke quickly. "I just promised my mother that I would represent Rao Shui Holy Land in the Four Saints competition this time." Hearing this, Wu Hao didn't think about it, just waved his hand and agreed. Anyway, Lin Zixin is the saint of Rao Shui Holy Land, and she cannot change this identity even if she marries into the Wu family. Furthermore, Lin Shuoru will not represent the Wu family in this Four Saints competition. In this case, it is not a problem to let her go back to Rao Shui Holy Land to participate in the Four Saints competition. Hearing this, Lin Zixin nodded excitedly. Wu Hao just smiled and left. On the other hand, So Kioran did not make much progress in her cultivation. After all, only 4 years had passed, and even a genius of Wu Yifan's level would find it difficult to make much progress. According to the current situation, I'm afraid I have to come out of the Chaos Secret Realm to break through to the Saint King late stage. Judging from this progress, I'm afraid it will be a long time before I can become a great emperor. So Kioran's face was full of disappointment and she couldn't help but sigh. At this moment, Wu Hao appeared behind So Kioran and hugged her directly. So Kioran was startled at first, but soon realized that it was Wu Hao behind her. "Husband, do you think I am a failure? I haven't even broken through to the Saint King late stage yet." "Where? Who dares to say that my wife has failed? My wife is clearly the #1 prodigy in profound heaven world. Who dares to say that my wife has failed? Stand up." Wu Hao pretended to be serious and spoke seriously, which made So Kioran's inner melancholy disappear at this moment and she couldn't help laughing. Of course, what Wu Hao said was true. So Kioran's target of comparison was Wu Hao. In fact, apart from Wu Hao and Wu Yifan, who were children of destiny, So Kioran's talent was indeed top-notch in the profound heaven world. According to Wu Hao's estimation, So Kioran might be able to break through to the Quasi-Emperor before the age of 300, and become a great emperor before the age of 1000. This is much more talented than the geniuses in profound heaven world. But soon Wu Hao remembered something and said seriously, "Honey, I have something for you." Chapter 93. Husband, are you sure you want to give me such a terrifying weapon? Looking at the magic sword that Wu Hao took out of the storage ring, So Kioran's breathing became rapid. As the quasi-saint of the Wanhua Holy Land, So Kioran could naturally feel that the immortal sword in front of her was at least an emperor weapon, or was even more powerful than an emperor weapon. Wu Hao shook his head gently and said in a calm tone, "You are my wife. This sword is just for your transitional use. When you become stronger, I will replace it with a better one." After all, if So Kioran were to be given a better weapon right now, with her current level of cultivation, she would not be able to unleash its true power, so the immortal sword would be enough. Moreover, the immortal sword in So Kioran's hand is still in a sealed state. With So Kioran's cultivation level, it can only exert the power of emperor weapon level. However, even so, he can still gain an absolute advantage in the Four Saints competition. How could my wife get a low ranking in the Four Saints competition? She should at least get a high ranking. Wu Hao thought to himself that with Wu Yifan and others joining in this time, he was not very sure that his wife would take the top spot, unless, of course, Wu Yifan and others let her off because of So Kioran's status as his grandmother. Moreover, the reward for the top 100 this time is entry into the Chaos Secret Realm, which is said to contain the inheritance of the Chaos Great Emperor. According to Wu Hao's guess, combined with the situation of Wu Yida's Chaos body and the Child of Destiny, it is likely that he will be able to obtain the inheritance of the Chaos Great Emperor this time. At this moment, Wu Rolong learned the news that Wu Hao had come out of confinement and rushed to Wu Hao excitedly. "Father!" Wu Rolong looked excited, which made Wu Hao curious. What happened to make Wu Rolong so happy? The next second, Wu Hao couldn't help but feel happy when he heard this, because Wu Rolong had already gathered all the materials needed to refine the Emperor Cauldron. "Father, when do you plan to refine the Emperor Cauldron?" Wu Rolong asked, because Wu Hao didn't take care of things, so now Wu Rolong was the patriarch of the Wu family. The names of people who made outstanding contributions to the Wu family in refining the Emperor Cauldron could greatly boost the morale of the Wu family. Moreover, Wu Hao also proposed that every 100 years, the children of the Wu family should compete with each other, and the one with the strongest talent should be selected to have his name engraved on the family tripod. If this news gets out, it will definitely greatly encourage the members of the Wu family to practice. In addition, the Emperor tripod also has the benefit of suppressing the Wu family's luck and making the Wu family prosperous for a long time. This is naturally a good thing for Wu Rolong. Hearing this, Wu Hao smiled and then spoke. Right now. As he spoke, countless extremely rare refining materials slowly flew out of the storage ring in Wu Hao's hand. The Emperor Fire was also released from Wu Hao's palm, dissolving and fusing all the materials together, and then gradually turned into Wu Hao's shape under Wu Hao's spiritual control. In less than 3 minutes, about 2.5 minutes later, a tripod about 3 meters in size appeared in front of the three people. Its magnificent appearance revealed a faint sense of oppression, which made Wu Rolong and others very excited. In addition, this tripod not only has the effect of suppressing the Wu family's luck, but the space inside is infinitely large. It can take living things into it for refining, and its hardness has reached an incredible level. If Wu Rolong's imperial sword hits it, it will not cause damage to the imperial tripod, and the damage will be reflected back to Wu Rolong due to the recoil force. "Father, is that all right?" Wu Rolong stretched out his hand and was about to take the Emperor tripod and place it on the Wu family square to suppress the family's fortune, but Wu Hao shook his head. "Wait, there are still some formalities." The next second, Wu Hao disappeared and reappeared in Wu Yifan's house. At this time, Wu Dong had already reached the initial stage of qi training under the guidance of Wu Yifan. Of course, Wu Hao's set was also applied by Wu Yifan, otherwise it would be impossible for him to break through to the initial stage of qi training with the talent of innate Dao Fetus Holy Body. "Grandpa, what's the matter?" Seeing Wu Hao visiting again, Wu Yifan asked curiously. But the next second, when he saw the Emperor tripod in Wu Hao's hand, his breathing became rapid. He looked at Wu Hao with urgent questions in his eyes until Wu Hao spoke. "Yes, you told grandfather before that you wanted a tripod, so grandfather made it for you." After saying that, Wu Hao handed the tripod directly to Wu Yifan. After taking the Emperor tripod from Wu Hao, Wu Yifan still felt that it was not real. After all, according to Wu Yifan's connection, Emperor weapon is something that you can only come across by chance, and there are only 4 of them in the entire profound heaven world. "Thank you, great-grandfather," Wu Yifan said with a touched look on his face, but Wu Hao waved his hand and spoke in a nonchalant tone. "When you ascend to the upper realm, Grandpa will give you something better." "Yes, great-grandfather." Wu Yifan secretly vowed in his heart that he must practice well and never let Wu Hao down. Ding! Congratulations to the host for giving away an imperial tripod. You have obtained 1 million imperial tripods. Would you like to synthesize them? Yes. Wu Hao clicked synthesize without hesitation. Ding! The synthesis was successful, and 10,000 immortal tripods were obtained. Xian Ding, suppress luck, attack enemies, refine together, the best choice to resist attacks. The functions of the Immortal Cauldron are not much improved compared to the Emperor Cauldron, but its effect is more than twice as powerful as that of the Emperor Cauldron. After all, the author can't think of so many novel and weird functions. Okay, practice well. I won't bother you anymore. I'm leaving now. After leaving Wu Yifan, Wu Hao returned to Soki-Oren. When Soki-Oren and the others saw that what Wu Hao was holding was not the previous Emperor Cauldron, but the Immortal Cauldron, which was even more terrifying than the Emperor Cauldron, their eyes changed. Soki-Oren could feel that the thing in Wu Hao's hand was of the same level as the sword he had given her before. In other words, did Wu Hao upgrade the Emperor Cauldron just now? "Father, what are you doing?" Wu Rolong looked at Wu Hao with a questioning look, but Wu Hao just waved his hand and spoke. It's nothing, I just upgraded the Emperor Cauldron. Take it and settle everything as soon as possible. I won't show up. After getting a positive answer from Wu Hao, Wu Rolong came to Wu Hao with a flattering look on his face and acted coquettishly. Father, how about you upgrade my Emperor sword as well? Just looking at Wu Rolong, a grown man, acting like a spoiled child, Wu Hao couldn't help but give Wu Rolong a blow and knocked him out with one punch. Seeing Wu Rolong flying out screaming, So Kyoran spoke with some concern. My dear, is this not a good idea? Don't worry, I controlled the strength and just blasted him away. How old are you and still acting like a spoiled child? Wu Hao waved his hand and said casually. Seeing this, So Kyoran could only suppress the worry in her heart. Indeed, seeing Wu Rolong acting like a spoiled child just now, not to mention Wu Hao, even she almost couldn't help but punch Wu Rolong out. Wu Rolong, so, there is no love between us, right? Chapter 94. However, I forgot to find a piece of fairy fire in the upper realm last time I went there. This is my mistake. I will find out next time I go there. Wu Hao thought to himself that based on his current situation, he would have to wait until he broke through to the immortal venerable before going up to the upper realm. Otherwise, if he encountered an immortal emperor, he would not even have a chance to escape. As for Wu Rolong on the other side, he was knocked flying by Wu Hao's punch and crashed into several mountains before stopping. After stopping, Wu Rolong rubbed his aching buttocks, his eyes full of resentment. If you don't want to give it to me, then don't give it to me. Why do you have to do anything? Although his mouth was full of complaints, Wu Rolong did not say anything. After adjusting his body, he stood up and prepared to talk about the matter of the Immortal Cauldron and give instructions on the Wu family's next policy. Soon, under Wu Rolong's message, the current senior members of the Wu family, including Wu Quncan and others, came to the Wu family hall. Seeing Wu Rolong looking a little embarrassed, Wu Quncan asked curiously. Father, what's wrong with you? Nothing. Wu Rolong coughed and then spoke seriously. Then he took out the Immortal Cauldron. Our Wu family is now considered a powerful existence in the profound heaven world, so naturally we need something to suppress our Wu family's luck. This is the immortal tripod refined by your grandfather. From now on, leave it in our Wu family's square to suppress our Wu family's luck. In addition, after a unanimous discussion between your grandfather and I, we decided to allow the members of the Wu family who have made outstanding contributions to leave their names on the Immortal Cauldron. Also, our Wu family will hold a competition for Wu family members every 100 years. Only members under the age of 100 will be able to participate. The top 3 can also leave their names on the Immortal Cauldron. Hearing this, Wu Quncan and the others couldn't help but breathe faster. If they could leave their names on the Immortal Cauldron, then from now on they would be able to leave an extremely magnificent image in the hearts of the younger generations of the Wu family. Thinking of this, Wu Quncan and others nodded and agreed without hesitation. Seeing that they all nodded in agreement, Wu Rolong also nodded with satisfaction, then added something when he thought of something. The first Wu family disciple competition will be held after the Four Saints competition is over. You should spread this news. Well, we got it, father. Upon hearing this, Wu Quncan and others hurried down to spread the news among the Wu family. Within less than an hour after the news spread, all the disciples of the Wu family became fanatical and started to boast that they wanted to leave their names on the Immortal Cauldron. But they seemed to have forgotten that Wu Quncan and others seemed to be less than 100 years old. However, after the Four Saints competition, Wu Quncan and others seemed to be over 100 years old. Thinking of this, Wu Quncan and others came to Wu Rolong without hesitation and begged him to move the time of the family competition forward to before the Four Saints competition, but they were all rejected by Wu Rolong. As the heroes who helped our Wu family expand its territory, you can leave your names on the Immortal Cauldron, so you don't need to participate in the family competition. Although they could not enjoy the thrill of battle, they were satisfied to have their names recorded, so they did not force anything more. At this moment Wu Rolong also took action. He flew directly to the sky above the Wu family, made a gesture with his hands, and after a few swings, the Immortal Cauldron rapidly grew larger in a short period of time under Wu Rolong's control. In just a few hours, it grew from the size of a fist to the size of 100 meters, and then fell towards the square of the Wu family. The mysterious yellow has no boundaries, and the chi method is ever-changing. With this immortal tripod, I will suppress the luck of my Wu family. Start. As Wu Rolong finished his words, a mysterious force spread out from the immortal cauldron towards the Wu family. Although it was invisible, the Wu family members could feel that something seemed to be affecting them invisibly. This is destiny, which cannot be seen or touched, but it definitely exists. Originally, without the immortal cauldron to suppress the Wu family's luck, the top of the Wu family would not be very high, or it would be limited to a certain level. But now with the immortal cauldron to suppress the Wu family's luck, the top of the Wu family will reach a new high. After finishing everything, Wu Rolong showed a look of satisfaction, and then looked at Wu Hao not far away. Wu Hao also watched everything here. With the current situation of the Wu family, the immortal cauldron was enough to suppress the luck of the Wu family. But after ascending to the upper realm, the immortal cauldron would not be enough to suppress the luck of the Wu family. Of course, the immortal cauldron is sufficient for use before the other members of the Wu family, except Wu Hao, have cultivated to the immortal king level. After that, they will need to be replaced with more powerful immortal weapons to suppress the Wu family's luck. But that is all later matter. The most urgent task is the Four Saints competition. Time soon came to the registration time for the Four Saints competition. Before setting off, Wu Hao gathered Soki Oren and others. I don't ask you to win the championship in this Four Saints competition. I only ask you to get the qualification to enter the Chaos Secret Realm. Do you have confidence? Wu Hao's face was serious. He knew that there were many opportunities in the Chaos Secret Realm. If Soki Oren and others could get them, it would definitely be of great benefit to them. Seeing this, Wu Qiankan said without hesitation. Don't worry, Grandpa. I will definitely qualify for the top 100. Just forget it. Just ignore what I said and do your best. After feeling that Wu Qiankan's cultivation was only at the peak of a saint, Wu Hao fell silent, and then spoke earnestly. The damage was not serious, but it was extremely insulting, and Wu Qiankan just felt very hurt. According to Wu Hao's perception, those who can go to participate in the Four Saints competition this time are all absolute geniuses in the profound heaven world. Saints are definitely nothing. Even great saints are numerous, and there are definitely quite a few saint kings. Okay, it's almost time to go, let's go. At this moment, Wu Rolong stepped out to smooth things over. The 5 places for the Wu family in the Four Saints competition this time are Wu Qiankan, Wu Yifan, Wu Rolong, Soki Oren, and Wu Qishan. Wu Hao did meet the qualifications to enter the Chaos Secret Realm, but he had no plans to go in. After all, with Wu Hao's current strength, he no longer cared about the inheritance of the Chaos Great Emperor. Moreover, if Wu Hao took action, it would be a bit too bullying, so after careful consideration, Wu Hao decided not to go in. On the other side, inside Zhang Tian sect, Wu Li looked at his master with some hesitation and asked. Master, do I really have to follow my brothers to the Four Saints competition? P.S. The profit has been cut in half, I am begging for gifts, thank you. Guys. Chapter 95. Wu Li, you must know that as my disciple, Chen Ping'an, you are destined to be a nameless person in this life. Your 2 senior brothers and sisters have already cultivated to the Great Saint realm, so this time they will represent our Zhang Tian sect to participate in the Four Saints competition. Since you are unable to participate in the Four Saints competition due to your age, you can take this opportunity to go and observe the demeanor of the profound heaven world's geniuses. Chen Ping'an said this with a serious face. Hearing this, Wu Li couldn't refuse any more and could only agree. Although Wu Li's talent is not as terrifying as Wu Yifan and Wu Yida's, it is still very good compared to ordinary people. After receiving the help of the Palm Saint bottle, his cultivation progressed by leaps and bounds, and he entered the void refining stage in a very short period of time. It is estimated that it will not take long for him to break through to the transcending tribulation stage. On the other side, Wu Yida also came out of seclusion, opened his eyes, looked around and muttered to himself. I have now broken through to the Saint King realm. I should be able to get a good ranking in the Four Saints competition. When Wu Yida returned to Tianyuesheng, he had already reached the peak of the Great Sage realm. Now, after settling down for a while, he has broken through to the Saint King realm. Disciple, it's time to get ready to set off. After Wu Yida came out of retreat, Wu Shenna appeared outside Wu Yida's cave mansion and spoke softly. Upon hearing this, Wu Yida untied the restrictions of the cave mansion and walked out. Dressed in white, Wu Yida's temperament seemed even more extraordinary. Wu Yida nodded slightly, then followed Wu Shenna out of the cave mansion and came to Chen Wushuan. Next to Chen Wushuan stood 4 disciples, all of whom were representing Tianyu Mountain to participate in the Four Saints competition. They were 3 men and 1 woman. They were all people Wu Yida didn't know. After all, with Wu Yida's identity, he didn't need to know too many people in Tianwu Mountain. However, although Wu Yida didn't know them, they all knew Wu Yida, so when they saw Wu Yida, their eyes lit up and they hurried forward to introduce themselves. Greetings, Master Saint. My name is Kong Shifu. Sir, you can just call me Xiuji. Sir Saint, please call me Ji Boda. My name is Lu Ruyan. Soon, Wu Yida also learned their names and nodded slightly to show his approval. In Wu Yida's perception, the 4 of them were all at the Great Sage level, with Lu Ruyan being the strongest, at the peak of the Great Sage realm. Next in line were Ji Boda and the other 2, all of whom had reached the late stage of Great Sage cultivation. Son, these 4 people will accompany you to participate in this 4 Saints competition. If you have anything to say, just tell them directly. Chen Wuxuan also spoke up. Wu Yida nodded, then looked at his master beside him and asked softly. Master, won't you follow us? Upon hearing this, Wu Shen was stunned for a moment, then shook his head. Master belongs to Tianwu Mountain. I will not leave Tianwu Mountain unless it is necessary. Having said this, Wu Yida did not force any further words. Soon, Wu Yida, led by Chen Wuxuan, left Tianwu Mountain and headed towards the Wanhua Holy Land. Wu Shen stood on the top of the mountain and looked in the direction where Wu Yida left. His eyes were full of melancholy, as if he was thinking about something. But the next second Wu Shen's expression changed slightly and he stomped his feet gloomily. Don't be so presumptuous, you evil creature. As Wu Shen stomped his feet, a low roar came from under the Tianwu Mountain. It sounded extremely creepy, but only Wu Shen could hear it. After suppressing the evil beast, Wu Shen sighed and muttered to himself. Disciple, you need to grow up as soon as possible, because your cultivation level can no longer suppress this evil beast for much longer. It's a pity that Wu Yida didn't see the scene. On the other side, Wu Yifan and others, led by Wu Hao, arrived outside the Wanhua Holy Land. They saw that a large venue had been built outside the Wanhua Holy Land. Inside the venue was a small world built by the strong men of the Wanhua Holy Land specifically for the geniuses of the 4 Saints competition to participate. After all, there are many saints and even great saints participating in the 4 Saints competition. If these levels of strong men fight in the profound heaven world, the damage they will cause should not be underestimated. Therefore, when forced to do so, those who are above the saint realm will fight in the small world. By the time Wu Hao and others arrived, quite a few geniuses who were going to participate in the 4 Saints competition had already gathered around the venue. Okay, you guys handle the rest on yourselves. I won't intervene unless it's necessary. Wu Hao glanced at Wu Yifan and the others and left. Although he was the ancestor, he did not do everything himself. And he also felt that some interesting changes had occurred in the profound heaven world. Okay, let's go and confirm their identities first. After Wu Hao left, So Kioran took on the role of team leader and took Wu Rolong and others to confirm the registration identities. The quota for each faction is issued in the form of an invitation letter. You only need to bring the invitation letter to the registration office to register. After arriving at the competition venue, Lin Zixin said goodbye to Wu Yifan and rushed back towards the Rao Shui Holy Land. At the registration place, Wu Yifan suddenly felt something, frowned slightly and looked into the distance, but after looking carefully, he did not find anything unusual, so he could only shake his head and think it was his own illusion. However, what Wu Yifan did not see was that, in a place he could not see, 5 monks whose clothing style was exactly the same as the Blood Soul sect messenger he had killed before were constantly wandering around the competition site. As they stopped at a place and left, a deep red mark appeared on the ground, and then disappeared under the earth, leaving no trace at all. And they were the Blood Soul sect's envoys who were arranged by the Blood Soul sect's Holy Son to participate in the 4 Saints competition. The formation has been set up. All we have to do now is wait until the 4 Saints competition begins and then we can activate the formation and teleport them all to the God Burial Valley. Soon, as the last array base was set up, looking down from the sky above the 4 Saints competition venue, one could see that the scarlet lights emanating from the array base were connected together, looking extremely strange. It's a pity that Wu Yifan and others didn't notice it at this time. After all, since Shui Yuan chose to take action at the 4 Saints competition, he had naturally made foolproof preparations. Not to mention the quasi-emperor, even the real great emperor might not be able to detect the existence of the Blood Soul sect's messenger. Of course, Wu Hao is an exception, but Wu Hao is not at the 4 Saints competition at this time. At this time, Wu Hao has come to the center of the central region, or the center of the entire profound heaven world. Chapter 96. Interesting, is this the secret realm of chaos? Looking at the gate to the secret realm that was slowly emerging in front of him, Wu Hao looked at it with deep eyes as if he wanted to see everything inside. But soon Wu Hao shook his head gently. He could sense that the chaos secret realm was constantly evolving. In other words, the current grade of the chaos secret realm was no longer an ordinary great emperor level secret realm. However, this kind of secret realm is extremely rare, even in the upper realm. There is only one possibility for this situation to occur, and that is that it was set up by the Chaos Great Emperor himself. I don't know if this Chaos Great Emperor is the same person as the founder of the Chaos Holy Land in the upper realm, but it's been too long. Otherwise, I would have taken a look. Wu Hao shook his head. When he was in the upper realm before, he learned from the leader of the Kiliang sect that the Chaos Holy Land had existed for at least 10 billion years, and the Chaos Great Emperor ascended to the upper realm only 5 billion years ago, so judging from the time, it is unlikely that the two are the same person. Of course, unless the Chaos Great Emperor of Profound Heaven World is the reincarnation of the Chaos Great Emperor of the Upper World, the possibility is very small. Well, this should be Wu Yida's chance. I hope he can seize it. After sensing the general situation inside the Chaos Secret Realm, Wu Hao turned and left. Although the Chaos Secret Realm is evolving, due to the limitations of the Profound Heaven World, the strength of the monsters in the Chaos Secret Realm has not increased much. It is the opportunity that has increased, but the risk has not increased. It was only after returning to the venue of the Four Saints competition that Wu Hao noticed the formations surrounding the venue and couldn't help but be surprised. Obviously, he did not expect that the Blood Soul Sex Envoy would be so bold as to cause destruction at the Four Saints competition. However, after sensing the function of the formation, Wu Hao knew their confidence. Are they planning to teleport everyone away? The destination seems to be the God Burial Valley. I'm afraid there are still great terrors in the God Burial Valley. Wu Hao looked at the God Burial Valley in the western regions across the distant space, and his expression couldn't help but become solemn. Obviously, he had not expected that there would be places in Profound Heaven World that even his golden immortal level of strength could not see through. But if he thought about it carefully, there were 5 Sons of Destiny now, so it would be impossible for Profound Heaven World to be simple. After accepting this, Wu Hao sensed the situation of the formation again. After learning the specific effects of the formation, Wu Hao gave up the idea of destroying the formation himself. This was the limelight of the Son of Destiny. As an ancestor, how could he possibly steal the limelight from his grandson? As for Wu Yifan now, he sneezed and rubbed his nose, feeling a little confused. Why did he sneeze for no reason? Could it be that his wife missed him? Brother Yifan, what's wrong with you? Wu Yida, who was standing by, noticed Wu Yifan's strange behavior and asked curiously, and so did Wu Li. Wu Yifan just shook his head, then looked at the two of them and spoke curiously. Nothing, but you two are here to participate in the Four Saints competition. Well, I'm fighting on behalf of Tianwu Mountain. Wu Yida admitted it openly, but Wu Li gave a bitter smile. Brother Yifan, please stop making fun of me. With my level of cultivation, I'm afraid I won't be able to hold out for even one round and will be defeated. I'm just here to accompany my brothers and sisters to watch. Upon hearing this, Wu Yifan and Wu Yida both nodded. Indeed, in their perception, Wu Li was only at the peak of the Void Refinement realm, while those who came to participate in the Four Saints competition had at least reached the Transcending Tribulation realm. If Wu Li went up, he would definitely lose. This was also the first time that the 3 Sons of Destiny met in the same frame. Wu Li looked at Wu Yifan and Wu Yida in front of him, and his eyes were filled with yearning. After all, Wu Yifan and Wu Yudao were often out for training, so Wu Li had never had the chance to meet them. However, he could often hear their stories in the Wu family. Now that they have met, Wu Li only wants to say one thing, that the two of them are indeed the face of the Wu family. Both of them are over 100 years old, but their cultivation is at a level that he cannot catch up with even if he works hard for another 100 years. Wu Yifan and Wu Yida did not notice Wu Li's thoughts. The 3 of them just came to see each other after knowing that the other party came to participate in the Four Saints competition. Well, it's almost time. Go back and rest early. I'll see you in 3 days. If it's your turn, I won't show any mercy. Wu Yifan stood up and looked at Wu Yida and joked. Wu Yida's eyes were filled with burning fighting spirit. Me too. However, with Wu Yida's current level of cultivation, he is far from being a match for Wu Yifan. After all, Wu Yifan has practiced for more than 10 years longer than Wu Yida, and with a solid foundation, his strength far exceeds that of ordinary geniuses. Not far away, Wu Rolong also watched this scene and shook his head slightly. These 3 grandsons were the pride of their Wu family. It was just because of his age that Wu Li was unable to participate in the 4 saints competition. Otherwise, Wu Rolong would really like to see all 3 of them rank in the top 100. Wu Rolong had already understood the rules of the 4 saints competition just now. The registration period is 3 days, and any registration after 3 days will be ignored. After registration is completed, it will take a day to randomly assign opponents, fight, eliminate, then randomly assign, fight, and eliminate again. And so on, until there are only 100 participating geniuses left. These 100 geniuses will continue to fight to compete for the final king of geniuses and receive generous rewards from the 4 holy places. At this time in the Wanhua Holy Land, Lin Yawan looked at Lin Tianyi in front of her and hesitated for a moment but couldn't help but ask. Holy Lord, can I really not participate in this 4 saints competition? Looking at Lin Yawan in front of him, Lin Tianyi sighed and shook his head. You should know that people from our 4 great sacred places must not be ranked outside the top 100 in the 4 saints competition, and your cultivation is only at the late stage of saint. There are more than 200 great saints in the 4 saints competition this time. If you participate, you will only be eliminated. Although Lin Yawan worked very hard after becoming a saint, her talent had become a shackle that limited her, so Lin Yawan, who was at the saint level, was unable to participate in this 4 saints competition. Although Lin Yawan was very depressed, she had no choice but to accept this decision. Looking at Lin Yawan's gloomy back, Lin Tianyi sighed helplessly, but soon thought of something and spoke to Lin Yawan. Chapter 97. If you want to improve your strength, I have a good suggestion. After hesitating for a while, Lin Tianyi finally spoke. As the Holy Lord of Wanhua Holy Land, he would naturally not ignore it if his disciples wanted to become stronger. Hearing Lin Tianyi speak, Lin Yawan's eyes lit up and she spoke quickly. What is the Holy Lord's suggestion? Just follow me. After Lin Tianyi finished speaking, he turned and walked towards the forbidden area behind the mountain of Wanhua Holy Land. Seeing this, Lin Yawan followed him without any hesitation. With 2 such enchanting saints, So Kioran and Mirong Shuet, in front of her, if she doesn't work harder, it will be difficult to convince the crowd. Soon, following Lin Tianyi, Lin Yawan also came to a big mountain. Soon a cave appeared in the mountain. Seeing Lin Tianyi walk in, Lin Yawan gritted her teeth and followed. Seeing Lin Yawan following him, Lin Tianyi began to explain. Do you know why our Wanhua Holy Land is called Wanhua Holy Land? Lin Tianyi spoke suddenly, which made Lin Yawan stunned for a moment, but after reacting, she quickly searched for relevant memories in her mind and soon found them. I remember that the founder of our Wanhua Holy Land was not from our profound heaven world, but came from another world. Yes, the founder of our Wanhua Holy Land is a peerless strongman named Tang Yan, who came from a world called Duxuan Continent. He accidentally came to our profound heaven world because of a battle with other strong men. Since there is no way to go back for the time being, we established the Holy Land of 10,000 flowers in our profound heaven world. Hearing Lin Tianyi's words, Lin Yawan also nodded, but then she thought of something and looked curious. But I remember that the founder of the sect passed away because of his lifespan. Why did you bring me here, Lord? Lin Tianyi stopped, then turned to look at Lin Yawan and said with an extremely serious expression. Yes, the founder of our Wanhua Holy Land did die due to exhaustion of his lifespan, but before he died, he left a legacy for the descendants of our Wanhua Holy Land. Only by passing his test can we obtain his legacy. I only learned about this news after I became the Holy Lord. It's a pity that after the founder of Wanhua Holy Land passed away, we sent many people to obtain the founder's inheritance, but they all failed. So over time, our Wanhua Holy Land thought it was just a joke left by our founder, and no one tried it again. At this moment, an extremely powerful thought emerged in Lin Yawan's heart, that is, the Holy Lord brought her here to let her take the test and obtain the inheritance. Sure enough, Lin Tianyi continued speaking the next second. This Saint Lord also sees that you are extremely eager to improve your strength, so I want you to give it a try. Thank you, Lord. I will try my best to win the inheritance of the founder for Wanhua Holy Land. When she said this, Lin Yawan's eyes were full of excitement. As the saint of the Wanhua Holy Land, she was naturally as powerful as the founder. It was no exaggeration to say that the founder was the number one person in the profound heaven world, the strongest great emperor, and he suppressed countless geniuses. The Wanhua Holy Land was once known as a force that countless people dreamed of joining. But after Tang Yan passed away, the Wanhua Holy Land lost its former glory. Well, just do your best. Lin Tianyi nodded, but from his tone it could be heard that he didn't have much hope for Lin Yawan. After all, countless people have more terrifying talents than Lin Yawan, but none of them have inherited the legacy from the founder. Lin Yawan's words are hanging in the balance. But Lin Tianyi did not say any words of attack, and soon led Lin Yawan to the entrance of a small world. Feeling the breath coming from the small world, Lin Yawan couldn't help but feel excited. She knew that no one was optimistic about her, but she wanted to surprise everyone. She, Lin Yawan, deserves the title of saint. When they arrived at the entrance of the small world, Lin Tianyi clasped his hands together, and the Holy Lord token in his body floated out. As Lin Tianyi transferred power into the Holy Lord token, the next second wisps of faint red power appeared in the Holy Lord token and floated towards the entrance of the small world. After coming into contact with the power in the Holy Lord's token, the restrictions on the entrance to the small world were also released. Although the people of Wanhua Holy Land don't really believe that there is a legacy of the founder in it because of the passage of time, but what if? Therefore, for the sake of safety, and also to prevent outsiders from obtaining the power of the founder of their Wanhua Holy Land, a great emperor of the Wanhua Holy Land directly took action and left a ban. Unless the great emperor took action or used the Lord's token, no one could enter. As the restriction was lifted, Lin Tianyi looked at Lin Yawan and spoke. Okay, the ban has been lifted, you can go in. Yes, Holy Lord, I will definitely live up to your expectations. Lin Yawan nodded solemnly, and then stepped into the small world resolutely. Lin Tianyi just stayed here for a while and then turned around and left. As the Holy Lord of Wanhua Holy Land, he naturally had to be present at the Four Saints competition. On the other hand, as time passed, the contestants' information was quickly screened and their corresponding opponents were assigned. It's just that the distribution is a little too fair. In the early stage, people of the same realm can only fight against people of the same realm. There won't be a situation where the Saint King beats the Great Sage or the Great Sage beats the Saint. Many people couldn't help but wail after seeing their opponents. Either the opponent was too strong, or they were too weak. But there was no way out. As the competition without any shady dealings, the Four Saints competition would not tolerate them doing whatever they wanted. So the Four Saints would not reallocate the assigned opponents no matter how much they objected to them. Interesting, my opponent is a middle-stage Great Sage named Wu Rolong. On this side of Tianwu Mountain, Cai Tiankan couldn't help but reveal a look of surprise after seeing his opponent. After all, he is at the peak of the Great Sage. Normally, he should be matched with a peak Great Sage in the early stage. Why was he matched with a mid-stage Great Sage? But don't refuse the newbie who is offered to you, at least it's good enough to be able to enter the Chaos Secret Realm. However, Wu Li on the side couldn't help but twitch his mouth after seeing Wu Rolong's name. It was obvious that he didn't expect that the senior brother would face his grandfather in the first round. One is his senior brother who takes good care of him, and the other is his grandfather. This makes Wu Li feel what it means to be caught between a rock and a hard place. But after a long time, Wu Li sighed and reminded him. Big brother, you better be careful. The other party is not simple. It doesn't matter, junior brother, don't you want to see senior brother's sword? This time senior brother will let you see it. Cai Tiankan didn't care at all, patted his chest and said with high spirits. Seeing this, Wu Li didn't know what to say and could only wish his senior brother good luck. Chapter 98. In the blink of an eye, it was time for the preliminary round. Do you have faith? Wu Hao came to Wu Yifan and others and gave them a preliminary encouragement as usual. Wu Yifan patted his chest and said confidently. Don't worry, Grandpa, I have absolute confidence. Wu Qiankan and others also nodded and agreed. Hearing this, Wu Hao let them set off. When they arrived at the site of the Four Saints competition, many people had already started the competition. After all, the competition was arranged to be completed on the same day and there was no time limit. Wu Yifan and Lin Zixin have very few opponents. After all, in the profound heaven world, there are very few geniuses who can break through to the supreme before the age of 1000, let alone the quasi-emperor. So at the beginning, Lin Zixin had no opponent and could only be ranked with the supreme prodigy. The supreme prodigy originally thought that he would definitely be in the top 10 in this Four Saints competition. However, when he found out that his opponent was Lin Zixin, who was in the early stage of quasi-emperor, his face turned as black as the bottom of a pot. However, he did not give up and was killed instantly by Lin Zixin in one move. Wu Yifan's opponent is also a supreme player, a genius named Fanfictions. When he saw Wu Yifan coming in, he looked at Wu Yifan with a look of scrutiny, but soon said with disdain, "You are no match for me. Do you want to go down by yourself or should I take you down?" "Oh, interesting. This is the first time I've seen someone so arrogant." Wu Yifan couldn't help but be shocked by Fanfictions' words. After all, no one had ever said such words to him since his debut. "Hey, you saw it today." Fanfictions stood up slowly. He could also see that Wu Yifan had no intention of going down. It seemed that he would not give up until he reached the Yellow River. If that's the case, then let him see who the real genius is. Thinking of this, Fanfictions walked towards Wu Yifan step by step, speaking as he walked. "I, Fanfictions, could speak when I was born, walk after a week, and run after a month. I started practicing at the age of 8 and reached the peak of chi refining in just 1 week. 10 years old, foundation building, 15 years old, spiritual sea, 25 years old, gold core, 40 years old, nascent soul, 60 years old, soul formation, 70 years old, refining void, 90 years old, transcending tribulation, 110 years old, sage, 150 years old, great sage, 200 years old, saint king. Until now, at the peak of the supreme level at the age of 930, with such talent, tell me how you can be my opponent, how?" Before Fanfictions could finish his last sentence, he was startled by Wu Yifan who suddenly appeared in front of him. But before he could react, Wu Yifan's fist appeared in front of him, and then the world went dark. "So much nonsense, if you want to fight, just fight, why waste your words?" The winner is Wu Yifan. The referee in charge of the fight between the two was an elder in the middle stage of quasi-emperor. After seeing this scene, he couldn't help but gasp. With his strength, he couldn't even tell how Wu Yifan made his move. Wu Yifan was so terrifying. Just after Wu Yifan left, Fanfictions slowly woke up from his coma and fell on the cold ground. Fanfictions looked up at the sky with lifeless eyes and after a long time he forced a bitter smile. "It seems that I lost. I remember running under the sunset that day. That was my lost youth. Wu Yifan, right? I'll remember you. After I break through to the quasi-emperor level, I'll definitely challenge you for another duel." It's a pity that Fanfictions' words didn't enter Wu Yifan's ears at all. Even if he knew, Wu Yifan wouldn't do anything. In front of him, Fanfictions' achievements were nothing. By the time Fanfictions broke through to the quasi-emperor level, he might have already broken through to the great emperor level. The same was true for Cai Tiankin on the other side. He fell to the ground with lifeless eyes. He didn't know why a middle-stage great sage could take out the emperor weapon and break his proud swordsmanship with just one sword. "It seems that I still need to become stronger, Wu Rolong, right? When I become stronger, I will definitely seek revenge on you." Wu Li watched the miserable condition of his senior brother and could not help but mourn for him for a few seconds. As for So Kioran and the others on the other side, they did not encounter any problems. After all, they had extraordinary talents, and with Wu Hao's guidance, winning a game was not a problem. "My dear, I won." After defeating her opponent, So Kioran trotted over to Wu Hao and asked for credit with a smile, like a child who got full marks on the exam and wanted candy as a reward. Wu Hao also smiled and touched So Kioran's head and said, "Yes, my wife is really the best." So Kioran was very pleased to hear Wu Hao's words, but her face was blushing as she spoke. "Hey, what are you doing? There are so many people watching here, aren't you ashamed? Why are you shy? You are my wife." Wu Hao said this confidently, which made So Kioran feel very happy. Fortunately, Wu Rolong spoke at this time. "Mom and Dad, let's go back first. After all, it won't have a good influence in broad daylight." Wu Hao frowned slightly and was about to say something when he looked outside the Four Saints competition venue. The next second, several beams of light rose from the ground around the venue of the Four Saints competition and formed scarlet barriers that surrounded the geniuses participating in the Four Saints competition. The faces of all the people who saw this scene changed, because they all felt the power of this formation. Who did it? How dare he do it? The four great saints were also here at this time. When the formation was activated, they appeared above the venue almost instantly, but they still had no time to take action to stop it before the formation was formed. After all, it is reasonable that the four great saints had no time to stop the blood-soul-sex methods. As the formation took shape, everyone present couldn't help but panic. After all, the four great saints didn't stop them. Could it be that they were going to fail? But the four great saints did not have much worries in their hearts. First, they still have the Emperor weapon in their hands. Although the formation in front of them is powerful, as long as they add the help of the Emperor weapon, they may be able to break it. The second is that they all know that there is a real great emperor or even more than one great emperor on the scene, and as long as they take action, they can definitely break the formation. Everyone, how about we work together to break the formation first? Li Teibei looked at Lin Shuoru, Lei Wanyun, and Lin Tianyi and spoke. But Lin Tianyi shook his head gently. Three of you, the Emperor weapon of my Wanhua Holy Land was damaged by an accident a few days ago, so please forgive me for not being able to use it. Hearing Lin Tianyi's words, Li Teibei and others couldn't help but be shocked again. You know, Emperor weapon is not only famous for its terrifying attack power, its defense power is also not to be underestimated. Unless the great emperor takes action or another emperor weapon, it is impossible to damage another emperor weapon. So, did the Wanhua Holy Land really encounter the great emperor? Chapter 99. Although the Wanhua Holy Land no longer has the Emperor weapon, Li Teibei and others have no intention of taking action against the Wanhua Holy Land. The first is that it would not be of much benefit to them if the Wanhua Holy Land took action. The second is that the strong man who killed Murong Huang might have already taken over the Wanhua Holy Land. Lin Tianyi was just a puppet pushed forward by the other party. Otherwise, he would not have become the new Holy Lord of the Wanhua Holy Land with only the cultivation level of an early quasi-emperor. Therefore, without absolute certainty, Li Bai and others would not take action against the Wanhua Holy Land. But I just don't know who is stronger, the one who can kill Emperor Murong or the one on my father-in-law's side. Lin Shuoru couldn't help but think of this possibility at this moment. But now they have no time to think about this matter carefully. After the formation is formed, they must destroy it as soon as possible. Otherwise, they don't know what will happen after the formation takes effect. If that's the case, then let the three of us take action. As Li Teibei finished speaking, the Emperor's sword in his body emerged, containing terrifying green sword energy. Seeing this, Lei Wanyun and Lin Shuoru also summoned out the Emperor weapon in their forces. Although Lin Shuoru now has a more powerful magic sword, that is her trump card. Lin Shuoru will not use the magic sword unless it is necessary. Go! As Lin Shuoru and the other two controlled the Emperor weapon and blasted towards the formation barrier, they collided directly in the next second. The aftermath of the terrifying power swept directly towards the surroundings, and the quasi-emperor warriors present saw this scene and stood up without hesitation to resist the aftermath. However, this terrifying power made the faces of the quasi-emperors who were resisting on the spot turn pale. Now the three holy masters exerted the genuine combat power of great emperors. Although there is only one realm difference between quasi-emperor and great emperor, the difference in combat power is huge. 100 peak quasi-emperors combined may not be a match for a single early-stage great emperor. It was just the aftermath. If the three holy lords controlled the emperor weapon to attack them, it would be considered a good thing if they could resist for 1 second. Under such a terrifying attack, everyone present thought that the formation should be able to be broken. After all, it was a recognized fact that there was no great emperor in the current profound heaven world. But the next second, a scene that shocked them extremely appeared. After a moment of stalemate, the three great emperor soldiers were actually bounced back. What? How is this possible? Even with the intervention of the three great saints, there are still problems that cannot be solved. Hiss, is it possible that this formation cannot be broken unless the real great emperor takes action? Seeing that the three great saints were still defeated after their attacks, everyone's heart sank. After all, if Saint Lord can't solve the problem, then I'm afraid they will most likely die here. Li Bai and others who saw this scene also looked extremely solemn, and it was obvious that they had not expected such a thing to happen. Damn it, who on earth dares to attack so many powerful people in our profound heaven world? According to my understanding, there is no such powerful force in profound heaven world. Lei Wanyun was so angry that he couldn't stop cursing. But Li Bai shook his head. I don't know, but since the formation has been set up here, the person who set it up should be here. Please come out and see him. He, you are worthy of being the Holy Lord of the Qinglian Holy Land. You are indeed smart. As Li Teibei finished his words, the next second 5 messengers dressed in Blood Soul sect uniforms appeared outside the formation. The moment they saw the Blood Soul sect's messenger, everyone present couldn't help but be surprised. Because they had no idea which force in the profound heaven world would have people dressed like this. But soon, Lin Shoru spoke, her tone calm and composed. You set up a formation to target our profound heaven world monks. In addition, this formation is filled with Demon Dao power. I think you should be Demon Dao monks. However, I can sense that this formation does not have any lethality. I am very curious about what you are up to. Considering that you are all going to die, I don't mind telling you. It's just a pity that the person behind me doesn't allow me to tell you, so you will know it soon. One of the Blood Soul sect's emissaries let out a harsh laugh, causing everyone to feel uncomfortable. Li Teibei and the others also felt depressed. Although they were isolated by the formation, they could still sense that the 5 people outside were at the peak of Quasi-Emperor level. The peak of Quasi-Emperor is enough to create a top force even in profound heaven world, but even with such a strong force, there are still other people behind it, which shows how powerful the person behind it is. The one who can make a peak Quasi-Emperor willing to serve him is at least a great emperor, which means that the person behind him is at least a great emperor. I don't know if that person is an opponent. Lin Shoru and others couldn't help but think of this possibility, but soon they dismissed the idea. The most important thing right now is to break the formation first. Although they don't know what the formation specifically does, if they allow it to continue, a situation that they cannot control will definitely occur. Thinking of this, Li Teibei sneered and said, I admit that your plan is very thorough. Even if our 3 saints take action, they cannot break the formation. But according to my estimation, if the power is a little stronger, it can be broken, right? Although the Emperor weapon was bounced back, Li Teibei and the other 2 still noticed that if they were a little more powerful, the formation could be shattered. But just now they had exerted their strength to the greatest extent, but still could not break the formation, so now they could only place their hopes on Wu Hao. Hearing this, the 5 Blood Soul sect messengers couldn't help but sneer. Yes, it is true that as long as your power is a little stronger, you can break the formation. However, once this formation is formed, it is impossible to break it unless you have the power of the middle stage of the Great Emperor. So just wait for the formation to teleport you away, and then face your death. Hearing the words of the Blood Soul sect's messenger, Li Teibei and the others couldn't help but brighten up. The Blood Soul sect's messenger obviously knew that he had let the cat out of the bag, so he shut up and stopped talking. They just need to wait until the Blood Soul sect appears in the world, then as the Blood Soul sect's apostles, they will definitely be the focus of the Blood Soul sect and soar to the sky. Chapter 100. Grandpa, can you break this formation? After the formation was formed, Wu Quncan came to Wu Hao and asked curiously. Although the scene in front of him looked extremely terrifying, as a member of the Wu family, he naturally knew how powerful his grandfather was, so the formation in front of him should not be scary. Even Wu Rolong and the others were not too worried. After all, Wu Rolong saw with his own eyes that his father had refined the emperor weapon by himself, and his strength was at least that of a great emperor. So Qioran spends her days and nights with Wu Hao, so she naturally knows how powerful the man in front of her is. Hearing this, Wu Hao nodded slightly. Of course I can break it, but it doesn't require my formation to be broken. Grandpa, what do you mean by this? Is there anyone here who is more powerful than the 4 saints? Wu Quncan looked a little puzzled. Wu Hao just smiled and then stopped talking. Anyway, Wu Quncan will know what the situation is soon, and Wu Yifan became restless after hearing what Wu Hao said. It was obvious that he knew that his great-grandfather wanted him to take action. On the other side, in Wu Yida's team, Lu Ruyan and others couldn't help but become extremely frightened when they saw this sudden change. Ah, I just came to participate in the 4 Saints competition, why did I encounter something like this? Ji Boda scratched his head and said with some excitement. Kong Shifu and the others also had gloomy expressions, and it was obvious that they had all determined that they would surely die in the current situation. After all, the 4 great saints had all tried but still couldn't break the formation. They also heard the words of the 5 Blood Soul sect messengers outside, who were out to take their lives. Although Lu Ruyan was very panicked, she couldn't help but look at Wu Yida. She saw that Wu Yida's expression was still calm, so she couldn't help but stepped forward to ask out of curiosity. Son, Aren't you afraid of the current situation? Afraid? What's there to be afraid of? Nothing will happen to us anyway. Wu Yida spoke with an extremely calm tone, as if what was happening in front of him was a daily routine and would not endanger their lives at all. Upon hearing this, Lu Ruyan was about to refute, saying that even the four great saints couldn't solve the problem, so how could it be solved peacefully? But Wu Yida glanced at Lu Ruyan, and the confidence revealed in his eyes made Lu Ruyan shut her mouth. Well, we can only leave the current situation to fate, and who knows, maybe the Son of God is really sure of something before he says such a thing. As for Wu Li's words, Cai Tiankan and Nanggong Ya's expressions became panicked when facing the sudden change. One by one they shouted, "I'm going to die, I'm going to die, I haven't lost my virginity yet." Hearing their unbearable words, Wu Li couldn't help but sigh, and then spoke. "What's the point of you being afraid? You might as well think about how to survive. We don't know where the formation will take us." Although he said so, Wu Li was not too worried in his heart. He just saw his great-grandfather and thought that his great-grandfather would help when necessary. Although his great-grandfather had never taken action in front of them, Wu Li still felt that he was very powerful. It was not for any other reason but because of his intuition. Even when facing his master who was at the peak of the quasi-emperor level, Wu Li did not feel any sense of oppression from his great-grandfather. The reason why Wu Li was able to grow to his current level is not only due to his intelligence and talent, but more importantly, his sixth sense. Thinking of this, Wu Li couldn't help but look in the direction of Wu Hao, hoping to see Wu Hao take action. At this moment, above the venue, Lin Shuoru and others were still confronting the 5 Blood Soul sect envoys, trying to extract more information from them. Unfortunately, there were restrictions on the Blood Soul sect envoys, and if they spoke out, they would die. Unless it was a situation like what Wu Yifan had encountered before, they would not reveal the Blood Soul sect's information at all. Don't waste your time. Just wait. You will know the truth soon, but that will be the day you die. One of the Blood Soul sect's emissaries snorted coldly, his tone full of disdain. Hearing this, Lin Shuoru and the others couldn't help but sigh, with a look of disappointment on their faces. But I can't take care of so many things now. I can only ask the senior to help break the formation and eliminate the demon to avoid a worse situation. Thinking of this, Lin Shuoru looked at the Blood Soul sect messengers outside the formation and spoke, her tone full of teasing. You guys are really interesting. You actually took into account so many powerful people in our entire profound heaven world. It's just a pity that there are still variables. Variable? What do you mean? The Blood Soul sect's envoy frowned slightly upon hearing this, somewhat puzzled. Lin Shuoru sneered. What does it mean? It means that there is a true great emperor among us. What? After hearing Lin Shuoru's words, not only the 5 Blood Soul sect messengers, but everyone present was shocked, because they had no idea that there was a great emperor in profound heaven world. The Blood Soul sect's envoy was stunned for a moment and was shocked in his heart, but after he reacted, he quickly sneered and said. You are kidding me. The imperial laws of profound heaven world have been sealed. How could a great emperor appear? Hearing this, Lin Shuoru and the others were also surprised. What does it mean that the imperial law is sealed? But now there was no time to care about so many things. Lin Shuoru just glanced at Li Teibei and others, and the next second they spoke in unison with a very respectful tone. Please, senior, exorcise the demon. Although they didn't know whether Lin Shuoru and the others were trying to fool the Blood Soul sect's messenger in front of them or whether the great emperor really existed, the others knew very well that they had to do as they were told. Maybe there would be a glimmer of hope. Soon everyone present started shouting with an extremely pious attitude. Please, senior, exorcise the demon. Hearing their words, Wu Rolong and others couldn't help but look at Wu Hao behind them. But unexpectedly, Wu Hao shook his head gently and then spoke. I don't need to intervene in this crisis. Yifan can solve it. Hearing his great-grandfather's words, Wu Yifan's eyes lit up. It turned out that he was asked to take action. Wu Qiankan hesitated for a moment, looking a little doubtful. Grandpa, it's not that I don't trust Yifan, but can Yifan really solve the current situation? Whether it can be done or not, we just need to verify it by ourselves, right? Wu Hao spoke calmly, his eyes full of trust as he looked at Wu Yifan. Wu Yifan also took a deep breath, as if he had taken on a heavy burden. If that's the case, then great-grandfather, I'm going to take action. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and subscribe to the channel so you are notified of future uploads. You can find the next parts in the playlist visible on the screen or on my channel. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.